Yeah. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Roll on advance, you don't even gotta mention. I swap it in the deck, you're not bullish enough. Trade it in the size, you ain't trenching enough. We do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Shizzy and Yagobi. OnChain revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity, flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. PYUSD, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gonna end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me, no way. OnChain revolution, here to stay. Yeah, say I'm sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah. Nicky's. Yeah. OnChain revolution. OnChain. Hey, OnChain revolution. Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recap, then I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, trend. Yeah, send it to the deck. Yeah, sell it through the spec. Ordinals the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to read. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee pad. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Rich. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy on the channel. We cover the entire Bitcoin crypto ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're back for another OnChain hour, and today is going to be absolutely awesome, guys, because we found some absolutely amazing charts that are making us so bullish right now on other coins besides Bitcoin. Yeah, we all love Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the king. It runs first. It is ran, and it is ran a lot. It is time for the next coin to take dominance, right? We're talking about Ethereum. We need Ethereum to kind of run next, right? And then within a week or so from today, we want to see XRP. We want to see Cardano. We want to see the large cap alts really start moving, because then the degen in us can actually come out and we can start grabbing some of the really cheap. Well, I'm already grabbing them. Well, if you guys are interested, it's up to you. But you're going to see a lot of the small cap alts and maybe some runes really start running, right? And then you might see people start taking profit, and then we're going to see the Bitcoin game again, and then Ethereum, and then large cap. This is what happens, guys. Last time in 2021, it did it 4 times. We had 4 different cycles where Bitcoin ran first, Ethereum, large caps, small caps, micro caps, run it back, guys. This is how we're going to make our money. This is how we are going to find the next big crypto as well. We're going to see what runs the hardest and say, wow, there is some momentum behind that one. We're going to find it for you guys. But first, we're going to start paying attention to the Bitcoin dominance. We're going to be watching that drop, guys. I am excited. I'm excited for the next couple of weeks. Hey, I'm excited for the next year in crypto, honestly. But let me bring out my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
How you feeling today, bro?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling happy. I don't know how anyone cannot have a lot of energy this morning as we're starting to see the entire market really just thrive. This is the first steps, I believe. You know, we're starting to see some signs of the alts pick up. It's been Bitcoin this entire cycle so far, and now it feels good to, you know, see Ethereum really look alive. And we had some indication from, you know, other large personalities in the space, the Tom Lees and stuff like that, that hey, they were starting to transition a bit to Ethereum. And so if you've been watching the show, I think you've been prepared. Hopefully you have been. If you're new, then, you know, keep watching, because we try to project the best we can on, you know, where the market's heading.
100%. And shout out Benjamin Cohen. If you guys aren't following into the cryptoverse, he is somebody who predicted Bitcoin dominance to go to 68 to 66. He was right this whole time. I remember him saying it when Bitcoin dominance was 40 something, and I want to say early 2023. Saying, guys, Bitcoin dominance is going a lot higher. 2024, same thing. And now he's finally saying it that, you know, it has topped. So let's take a look at the Bitcoin dominance first. Kind of get into our main topic today, which is Bitcoin dominance collapse, 64% fallen. So we're under 64% for the first time in a while, guys. And this is the chart here. This is Bitcoin dominance. And zoom out, right? Let's just zoom out and kind of see how strong Bitcoin dominance was. I mean, you go all the way back to just January of 2023 is kind of when, you know, Bitcoin dominance kind of was down at 42%. And this entire time, guys, this entire time, all the way from back here, Bitcoin dominance has just been absolutely strong, insanity. But now we're kind of seeing finally almost like a double top feeling over here. You have the one top and the second top and now a drop. There's so many indicators, trends and tops and all this stuff that will kind of make me think that it is over for Bitcoin dominance. What do you think about this chart?
As we're saying this, Bitcoin dominance is creeping up, but it's okay. You know, it does go
Barely.
back up. Yeah, it goes up and down, right? So I think that Bitcoin's just making a quick little run here. But yes, I mean, if you just zoom out here on the hour chart, and I think that's what you're looking at, right? Or maybe you're looking
daily.
at
The daily
okay.
matters.
Yeah. So you can see that trend has just been obvious, right? Like it's been red every single day. And so, you know, preparing yourself for something like this, it's not easy to do if you're a trader and you're trying to time it. But if you are someone that can buy and hold, this is the perfect thing to do, in my opinion, right? You're waiting for this moment to where it does switch hands a bit. Now, that doesn't mean that like Bitcoin won't rise back up. Of course, most of us are bullish, thinking, you know, 130 to 150 is still on the table for the rest of the summer. And if that happens, that's okay. As long as Ethereum and the alts kind of start to get hyper aggressive along with it. And that happened last cycle. You know, it did take some time for the alts to get going, but once they did, Bitcoin chilled out. But then Bitcoin started going up again, and these alts said, "No, we're going on this ride with you. In fact, we're going to continue up, even if you decide to pause again." So, look, I'm okay if Bitcoin gets aggressive to the upside. The dominance we still want to see, you know, at least trickle down, you know, continually trend down. But I think we're in a good spot overall, man. And love seeing this chart. You and I have been basically just constantly looking at this and the ETH Bitcoin chart, and we're here.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree. You know, getting under that 64 was a big deal in my opinion. We were above that for so long. We did have a drop down to 61. So I'm hoping it's not another fake out, but I don't think this time is a fake out. This one was a pure fake out and then back up there. But what's happening right now doesn't seem to be like very normal. So what's happening right now feels like Bitcoin still wants to run. Bitcoin's not over yet. And I don't think Bitcoin is over. I think we're going to go 138, but Ethereum's going to actually have momentum this time and take it to 3,500. And then maybe Bitcoin falls, but Ethereum doesn't. We're kind of already seeing the early stages of that yesterday when Bitcoin went down to 116, but ETH was like, nah, I'm a $3,000 asset, right? I'm not going under $3,000. And today showing more strength while Bitcoin showing strength, but Bitcoin wasn't showing the strength that it's showing now. And ETH was still going up. So I am very impressed by this chart here. Let's take a look at the ETH. You mentioned the ETH Bitcoin chart. Let's take a look at that real quick.
That one looks great. It looks amazing.
100%, dude. This was the house. This was home for Bitcoin and the bottom for ETH Bitcoin. So if you would have purchased them down here, you look like an absolute genius right now. But this huge, I mean, look at these candles. ETH Bitcoin, massive, and then sideways. And it does feel like we're about to get this again. And if we do get this again, potentially, let's just take this, right? Take it all the way up to the top, then we'll grab it and then we'll move it over to where we kind of hit up there. So potentially we might see, you know, 0.003 ETH Bitcoin. This would be really good for alts, guys. This is what we need. Like I said, we love Bitcoin, but this tells me right now, though, too, that potentially, you know, you're going to see a lot more companies potentially with the earnings come in and say, hey, we own Bitcoin, because this is a massive, we own Ethereum. It's a massive move here. And, you know, Tom Lee is saying it himself. So
yeah, I know we've mentioned his name several times just because of the respect that he's gotten from, you know, his previous calls and stuff like that. So for him to make this move, it's a big statement. And there's other people too. And, there's this company called SharpLink that's trying to really establish themselves as the MicroStrategy of Ethereum, continually acquiring OTC, trying to find it cheaper, but getting large quantities of it, right? And so it's big. I think this was the move that people have been waiting for. I think it's going to be a first move of many, though, right? So it does seem like Bitcoin is running. It looks like it wants to knock on the door of 120. I think it's really important to pay attention to Ethereum right here. How does Ethereum respond to this? Because as I mentioned to you, I've been paying really close attention to Ethereum. I haven't seen a move as I did late yesterday evening on that strong push up, and it didn't retrace. It hovered around after that push up, and then it doubled down this morning and said, no, we want more. So it's as dominance, let's say dominance does try to creep back up to 64. I don't know if it could get there, but let's say it does. I wouldn't worry too much. Just pay attention to Ethereum, because if Ethereum doesn't, dump hard, when Bitcoin pulls back, then that could be a sign that, okay, Ethereum's here. It's going to 35. It's going to 38. And then that dominance won't get back to 64 or past 64. It will continually slowly trend back down.
Yeah, 100%. But ETH's been strong for a while. I don't think people realize that. In February, ETH was $1,300. Like, think about that for a second. $1,300 ETH. I mean, it ran 100% from February till May, and in May it was 2,600, right? And now we're up, in here sitting here in July, and we're up at 32.54. So ETH has been really strong since February. February was definitely that bottom. I mean, especially down here. I mean, even in May it was still kind of weak, right? It really didn't reach out till May 10th was when it really had its pull up, and it's just been the strongest asset in my opinion right now. It's something to pay attention to, but it is also the asset that is, going to tell everyone else, like, hey, it's time. It's the asset that's going to bring retail in, right? XRP and ETH are the two of the assets that are going to bring retail in. So my question for you: ETH is 34% away from its all-time high. XRP is 24% away from its 2017 all-time high. Which will hit first, XRP or Ethereum?
Ooh, man, that's going to be tough, right? I think there's more pent-up demand for Ethereum in terms of price action, and people been sitting on their thumbs waiting for it to move, and so that could really expedite this push up. I don't think people are thinking about that, right? Like you mentioned, $1,800 in right before May is ridiculous if you're thinking about Ethereum's value, right? And so because of that, there could be a hyper push up for Ethereum. In that case, I think they would get there quicker. But I will say this: don't take XRP lightly. They've been really aggressive, moving, putting themselves in the headlines, and so a lot of institutional money could really thrust it up as well.
Yeah, 100%. And you have to remember, so ETH's bottom of the bear market was around 800-900. XRP's bottom of the bear market was 18 cents. So if you would have got, an ETH bottom, you would be up maybe 2-3x. If you would have got XRP's bottom, you're up almost almost 10, 12, 13 X's, right? From that bottom. So XRP has ran this cycle. ETH has not. So I think you're 100% right. I think ETH actually gets the all-time high before XRP does, but we'll see.
Yeah, and XRP had a lot of pent-up demand, obviously, because it didn't really get to enjoy last cycle, right? But so that's why I think it's ran hard. But in a short term, I feel like ETH has had that strong pent-up demand. We'll see if it can do something big here.
Yeah. So ETH pumps to a 5-month high as treasury companies stockpile ETH. Publicly traded companies, like you mentioned, SharkLink, BitMine, Immersion Technologies are building Ethereum stockpiles to boost their stock. So, and then we find out that Peter Thiel discloses a 9.1% stake in Tom Lee's ETH treasury company, BMNR, or what is it, BitMine, in the latest SEC filing filed this morning. So Peter Thiel, think about who he is. He's somebody who got in early to Facebook. He's someone who got in early to Pump.fun. He's somebody who got in early on this one right here. So he is somebody who always 100Xs, guys. So potentially he's getting into this again. And this could be it. This could be the massive move that we've been waiting for, and that is ETH treasury companies.
Yeah, and we've already seen the popularity of the Bitcoin treasury companies, right? You have people that are big names investing in that, creating them, acquiring them, and then now we're going to see how much interest is going to be there for the ETH side of things, right? When it comes to ETFs, obviously Bitcoin has dominated that part of the industry. Ethereum's picking up, it's picking up. We'll see how much it will pick up here in the next couple months. That it could very well, just because it's kind of the hot topic. But yeah, with these treasury companies, this is there's the ETF category. Now there's these treasury company categories. People are saying TradFi are looking at the treasury company categories as like their altcoin kind of things, market products or whatever. So I wouldn't be shocked if this continually gains momentum for the ETH side as well.
Yeah. 100%, dude. I'm really excited for the next couple weeks, dude. Really excited. And this next headline is another reason why. So, US PPI, producer price index. This is B2B. This is from business to business. Year over year falls to 2.3, below the 2.6 consensus forecast. So think about that for a second. Yesterday, it was the CPI was predicted to be 2.6 and it came in at 2.7. Today's PPI was predicted to come in at 2.6 and it came in at 2.3. This is a massive drop. We don't normally see this type of misforecast, right? It's usually about 0.1, maybe 0.2, but 0.3, rarely ever. And you got to remember Jerome Powell's target, right? His target has always been between 1.8 and 2.3. So now we are officially in Jerome Powell's target. So, he can call himself a success now from taking inflation from 9% of December of 2023 to 2.3 in July of 2025. And that is success. That is complete success. You took a market that was so high, inflation was insane. 9% inflation year over year is insane, down to 2.3. So Jerome Powell can pat himself on the back now and then cut rates. I'm hoping,
Yeah.
right?
Well, we'll see if he's the one that's going to be doing it or somebody else. There's so much rumors going around about that itself. But yeah, this is a big win for data for sure. 0.3, that's huge. There's no excuse there. And if you're thinking about like the flow of how things go, PPI is the most important in my opinion, because that's the businesses getting it from the manufacturers and then passing on whatever they have to inquire in terms of fees or taxes onto the consumer. And if their PPI, if the PPI is lower than expectations, that means that tariffs aren't affecting at least like the first step of things. And so typically the PPI is a 6-month lag as well. So if markets are truly forward looking, then this literally is the green light, in my opinion, to give the current Fed, the go ahead to cut rates. Right now, I don't know if this is going to be enough, or we got 14 days before that day happens here. Plus, there's a lot of uncertainty of who's going to be leading that department. But yeah, so at the very least, I think the next cut we should expect it.
Yeah, I mean, let's check Polymarket, right? Because at the end of the day, Polymarket is 96% saying no change.
Yeah.
So if Powell comes out July 30th, we're talking 14 days from today, comes out and he says, "Hey, no change." Does Trump erupt? Does Trump go absolutely crazy? Like, does he say what? Like, Polymarket's saying no change. And let's take a look for September real quick. Polymarket's also saying pretty much no change, 53% no change. I mean,
yeah. I think that unless something happens there at the leadership role, we'll probably stick with that. But if something does happen there at the leadership role, I think that changes overnight, right? So we'll see how much of that's a rumor. You have like someone that literally working in Congress stating 99% sure that he's going to be removed. But then for all of us that have looked into that, doesn't seem like the president has that power to remove so there's a lot of confusing variables or situations with that. The only thing that you brought up pre-show was, is Congress getting involved? And if they are, that's the way that he can be removed.
Yeah, well, let's kind of get right into that. So Paulina Luna, who's a member of Congress, correct? She's hearing that Jerome Powell is getting fired from a very serious source. And then U.S. Treasury Scott Bessent says Trump won't fire Fed Chair Powell, but confirms the process to pick a successor is already underway. And then Director of Federal Housing, Pulte, says a very credible source told him that Jerome Powell is considering resigning. So we're hearing not going to fire him. We hear fire, and then we hear resigning. I don't know. And then President Trump was asked, says he likes the job Treasury Secretary Bessent is doing when asked if he's an option to replace Fed Chairman Powell. And this is crazy. This is like a drama. I feel like I'm watching like I don't know, Hip Hop Housewives or something. Like it's crazy. I mean,
Hip Hop
it's
Housewives.
Like he said, seriously, like Housewives of Atlanta or something, right? This is just it's so he said, she said, he's doing this, they're doing this, he's going to resign. What the hell is going on? Like, what is going on?
I don't know if they're trying to just throw a bunch of smoke and mirrors out there. The one thing that is, I think we can agree on is they're not happy with him, right? So, like, so they're not happy with him from every angle. Secretary Bessent, I think, he seems like a very, very smart guy. He knows the markets very well. It's what he did, like, for his entire life. He's had massive success in the financial markets, right? So him taking that position, I think, would be really, really good. But again, there's all these rumors happening out there. Is it intentional to kind of throw, some people off the I guess the sentiment drivers of our industry off, so they can't know to, maybe this is good, maybe this is bad for the market, who knows, right? But at the end of the day, the resigning one, it intrigues me the most, right? Because I've seen that multiple times in different posts on crypto Twitter and stuff like that. So if he like resigns himself, that's going to be a huge situation, and I think that would explode the markets.
Well, does it explode the July 30th, right?
That's the thing.
Think about how many people, how much money, $8 million are saying no change. Almost $9 million in volume for no change. Like, that's pretty nuts.
Yeah, I agree. I do think that would change percentage wise. It depends on how late it would be, right? Like if he resigned a day before, like on the 29th, I think that stays the same. If he resigns a week, 2 weeks before, which would have to be now, right? Then that changes drastically, I think. We'll see what happens. We'll see if there's any validity to it at all. But no one's really happy with them. I mean, you had a good point.
I'm happy with him.
Yeah, he did a good job.
I think he did an amazing job
for what he was trying to do. But they want him to cut.
Well, they want him to cut rates now, and they call him too late, Powell. He was too late in 2021. He cut it and started cutting in December and January of 2021, 2022. And then he, but he paid for that by getting 9% inflation. But there was circumstances around COVID and people saying that like him leaving the rates like helped a lot of people take mortgages out on their house for lower rates and really kept a lot of people afloat. So I don't know. COVID was, it was a mess, and then not many people really got hurt from that, right? Besides the people who got sick. But I mean, financially from losing their jobs or stuff like that, the economy was booming. It's still booming. I mean, you can still get a job right now. I don't know. I think he did an absolutely amazing job. Do I want rate cuts? Yes, 100%, because that's going to boom markets. But the guy's done a great job.
Yeah.
All right. You got anything else? You good?
Yeah, I was just going to say the last thing I would say is like he was late that one time, right? And so I think that's why people second guess him a little bit. In terms of bringing the CPI to where it is, he's done a good job with that.
Was he late though, or did he do it to make sure people were okay financially?
Where? And last fall?
My thing. Like 2021 November, right after COVID. Was he? Because he's been cutting since January 2022. I mean, he's been adding. He went from 0 to 5.5 in 2 years, right?
Yeah, but
so I don't know if he was late or if he just made, hey, we need to make sure these people are okay.
Well, I think people think he was late, and then also the fact that he cut right before the election, and a lot of people think it was to kind of assist the other side to make the economy seem better is not a good taste in their mouth from that, right? So that's something you can question. At the end of the day, you're always going to second guess if the person in charge isn't doing what you want them to do. So hindsight's always 20/20, right? So we'll see. We'll see. They don't want him in there though.
Nope. For sure. All right, let's get into the crypto week, right? So we had a vote yesterday. 210 Democrats and 13 Republicans voted against advancing Crypto Genius Act, Clarity Act, and Anti CBDC Act. President Trump says he met with 11 of the 12 representatives needed to pass the Genius Act in the Oval Office. And after the discussion, they all agreed to vote in favor of the stablecoin legislation. The U.S. House Senate is set to vote on Bitcoin and crypto market structure legislation in 3 hours from right now. What do you think, man?
Passes.
You think it passes today?
Yeah. So is this the first round? Okay, so the House
Yeah.
is voting on the market structure with,
Yeah.
I think, unlimited amendments, I'm sure, because that's what they've been doing just to get it through.
Yeah.
And then pass to the Senate and then back to the House. No, I think it'll be done after that if they get it through there. We'll see.
And then it goes to the president's desk, right? If the
Yeah.
Senate approves. But they're saying this: the Senate majority of them are okay with passing it as is. All three of these, right?
That's good.
But the House is the problem right now. And as you can see, 13 Republicans. Isn't it crazy? The Democrats, not one Democrat voted for this. Not one. It's crazy. Not one Democrat voted for this. Like,
really?
And 13, yeah, isn't that crazy? 210 Democrats, or is
in the House?
Okay, and all 210 voted no. Why are they so against crypto?
Yeah, so Torres must be in the Senate then, because he's pro crypto.
Yeah, he's Senate. Yeah.
Okay, so then they're against it because of who was funding them, right? Like Maxine Waters, all them, the people, Elizabeth Warren. It's all the traditional, finance, the banking institutions and stuff were really pushing them. And this is how our government's been since lobbying has been legal, right? So
yeah,
it'll change though. It'll phase out. That'll phase out because the banking institutions will join where we are, which they are.
I just feel like the Democrats are so aligned. They're so like, they're one. It's like, it feels like Democratic Party is just one person, and they just all vote the same way, like without any thought process whatsoever. They don't think. They just say, what am I doing here? Okay, gotcha. That's what it feels like.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't want to get into deep politics here. Let's move on. Yeah,
let's move along here. Purchasing power of the U.S. dollar. This is interesting. As a post from Watcher Guru. So in 1950, the purchasing power of the dollar, right? So that was the 1950s, where the time of war was over. Everything was looking good. World War I, World War II was done. The dollar was the strongest at that time. 1975, we all don't know, the 70s, when the dollar came off the gold standard, it almost dropped in half. From 1950 to 1975. And then, it took 25 years later, and it dropped almost 60% down to 14 cents. And in 2025, it dropped another. So since the year 2000, 25 years later, and this is all 25 years back to back to back, right? It's at 7 cents purchasing power. So that same dollar in 1950 is now equivalent to 7 cents today. This is why Bitcoin is so important, because it just shows the inflation from 1950 to 2025.
Yeah, and that's so in 1950s when they started to come off the gold standard.
1970, you can see the drop between 50 and 75. I think the gold standard was 73.
Okay, yeah, so that explains a lot, right? Because if you're just backed by nothing really, except for they were claiming oil, barrels of oil, but really not sustainable in terms of trackability and all that stuff. So Bitcoin, if they end up backing the dollar by Bitcoin, which they haven't talked about doing yet, but if they do that, they actually kind of reverse it, but we'll see if that happens. But yeah, I mean, this is just how our but the number one consumer market is what we've been able to kind of hang our hat on, and that's what's driving us, right? But we're number one consumer market in the world, so everybody wants our business, but our currency is only worth 7 cents when it comes to purchasing power. That's crazy.
Equivalent to 1950. Yeah, it's nuts. And this is why Bitcoin is so important, and it's why Bitcoin will be the future of money, from my opinion. All right, let's move along. DOJ and CFTC drop investigations in the Polymarket, making a win for crypto betting platform previously targeted for election wagers. So we do know Polymarket was the #1 polling system in the world because it was 100,000% correct. The losing party didn't like that. They said Polymarket didn't let them use their polls for whatever reason, right? There's no reason to look at polls anymore. If you have betting sites like Polymarket, there's no reason to look at polls anymore because it's going to have the number one, people are putting their money where their mouth is, not just votes or opinions of people, right? This is actual money on the line. And so I do love that. So this is a win for crypto companies in general, especially decentralized ones.
Yeah, and the fact that it happened this last cycle was actually election, I should say, was really cool because we got to experience innovation that actually affected something big.
Yep.
With our industry. Number two, we're gonna see if they can try to manipulate this, because obviously we know that certain polling companies, we just don't trust them anymore. And there's good reason to not trust them. And it's almost kind of like this manipulation of getting the masses to do what they want them to do was so rampant and easy previously. And as blockchain and crypto and other technology becomes more innovative and advances, it's harder and harder to manipulate. Obviously AI could be a tricky situation, right? But I will say the only way they're gonna have to be able to manipulate is by money. And I think they try to do a little bit of that, but then you run out. And so what happens? Like the real bettors, which there's huge whales that are have tens of hundreds of millions, maybe $1 billion, that feel very confident in what they're doing, and they'll place large wagers, and that's how you get the electoral college to be 100% accurate on Polymarket. And so it was kind of like a sore loser, in a sports game, a basketball game or something, and then like at the last second, they got called on a foul or something, and they're just like, review it, you know what I mean? And they're just, they don't like it, but it is what it is. And so I'm glad that this is being dropped, because it was ridiculous in the first place.
Yeah, and then they confiscated his phone too.
Went to his house.
They went to his house, they confiscated his laptop, his phones, and it's just like, dude, I just run I created a decentralized platform that people take bets on. And I don't even allow US citizens to make these bets, right? So it's like, I don't know. But let's move along here. That is definitely a win for decentralization. All right, let's jump into, so TRON has been a leader, a true leader right now, and nobody really knows why, right? We're going to get into that. So TRON's on-chain activity it keeps climbing in 2025. Q2 saw record high transaction volume and 2.7 million in daily active users. We talked about this yesterday, but this is another headline, and I just kind of want to jump into it a little bit. So I'm going to share my screen and get your opinion on it. So if you go to TRON, right, it is the fifth largest by TVL, as 5.44 billion in TVL, right? Let's jump down to see what platforms that is most locked value, right? So you're seeing Just Len, right? It's $4.1 billion in TVL, and then your Sun, which is 1 billion. Huge drop off, right, from 1 billion to 130 million. So we're going to ignore everything else. We're going to take a look at Just Len. So Justin Len seems like it is a compound fork. Compound is a borrowing and lending on Ethereum. It was one of the first ones that came alive. It was huge in DeFi summer, where you can come here and you can basically take your TRON and you can supply it and earn yield. You earn about 0.3% yield on that. So it's not really worth it unless you just want to be safe. They have other assets too that you can also do that as well. And then, but the borrow. So basically, what people are doing, and I Googled this, is they're coming in and they're borrowing against their TRON. So they're borrowing TRON against their TRON and actually leveraging that way. Instead of using leverage trading platform, they're actually leveraging their TRON and their stake TRON, and they're actually getting more TRON for that, right? They're actually putting their collateral up to get more and getting like 50% leverage. What do you think about this?
It's a good mechanic to, it's a good mechanism to really prop TRON's value up, right? And obviously a lot of people are participating, or at least a lot of, value is participating. I don't know how much of that is actually his, right? But look, at the end of the day, you got to find ways to make yourself relevant in a industry that is kind of hard to do that, right? Other than just the winners, like the OGs, like Bitcoin, Ethereum. You have DeFi, and there's only so much that could go around, and so many new ideas. Obviously, you have to constantly think of new ideas. So I think that's where you got to give him credit, is that like he's been able to. TVL will always make people look at you. So if you have a lot, they're gonna be like, what's going on over there? There's like, you know what I mean? There's some sort of recipe of success. So, and we're figuring out it's those two protocols. It's not a bunch of retail activity possibly, but maybe it is. There's only whale activity on those two platforms. But
yeah, and I find it fun that you got Just from Justin and then Sun from Justin Sun is the top two protocols there. But that's very common, right? People name it after the founders of the chains and stuff like that. So, but it's $5 billion. So if you look up here, it says 5.44, and then you add these two together, it's 5.1, like 1.2 or 5.2. So it's nothing else. It's nothing else, guys. It's just these two.
What was the total amount? Is it 5.2?
5.44.
Okay, gotcha. So 0.2
and 5.2 is in these two.
Gotcha.
So it's, but if I was going to take out a loan, maybe I'd do it against my Tron at this point. I don't know. I don't own Tron, but I seriously, that's one of the stronger assets for sure. And it's government friendly, meaning it does seem like WilFi is involved in Tron as well. But absolutely huge. Congratulations, any people in Tron, because I thought Tron was a scam. Probably for the last, at least 4 years, right? I mean, this is the first year where I'm actually considering it to be a top 5 blockchain, because it is. Obviously, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and Binance Smart Chain, right? So, if you look at Binance Smart Chain, 6.45, Solana 9.36, and Ethereum is 6 times higher than Solana at 74 billion. So, but pretty crazy though that Tron has that much. Like, I'm still shocked. Followed by it's beating Base, Arbitrum, Sui, and even Hyperliquid.
Yeah, I mean, Hyperliquid, I'll give them the pass. They're new, but Base, Arbitrum, they've been around for a while. I mean, Tron has been around longer, I believe, but like you said, there was kind of the stigma around Tron, and wherever that money is coming from, it's definitely making him look strong. At the end of the day, are people going to utilize the blockchain though, or is it just going to be this certain group of users that are borrowing money out, borrowing stables off of their Tron? I don't know. There's just not like that popular DApp that we know of, at least on the West. And I think it's a little unfair to say that. I think for me to say that, because I'm not involved into the East with stuff like this, right? So maybe the East is heavily using it.
Well, I found a sun pump. You want a sun pump? I don't know, man. Sunpump.meme is this. So it's interesting. It's interesting for sure. I'm going to start digging more into what's going on over here and see if I can pinpoint the exact reason why people are really using Tron. Because for a while, I really didn't. But yeah. Awesome to see, though. Awesome to see. All right. Let's move along here. PayPal to expand its PYUSD stablecoin to the Arbitrum network. And it's funny that this came out today, because the other day I was thinking, I was like, why isn't it? Because I want to transfer USDC in the PYUSD, because that's kind of what I've been using as my off ramp lately, is to go from USDC to PYUSD. And I was like, let me just do this on Arbitrum because it would be cheaper and faster. But because it does with PayPal to recognize it, it takes I think it's 30 or 40 ETH blocks, which can be anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. And I was trying to get it done so I can just be done with it. So I was like, let me use Arbitrum because I'm sure it'll be faster. And they didn't have PYUSD over there. But starting today, PayPal is going to be putting PYUSD on Arbitrum. Do you think this is a big deal or a big nothing burger? I think PayPal is going to one of the big winners of the stablecoin game.
So I think it's a big deal for Arbitrum for sure. Right. So not only are they going to be, they're doing like this B2B type of situation, servicing all these brands to say, hey, look, we can help you with this if you're trying to create an environment for your product and all this stuff. But they're also partnering with PayPal, which is smart, again, because PayPal is a very globally recognized brand. And now they're going to have their stablecoin on Arbitrum. And as of right now, this is the only chain that I know of that's going to have this.
Yeah, 100%. and have Arbitrum on there. I mean, you do have USDC. That's on every chain, right? So they got to figure out where their home base is, like you always say about finding Bitcoin's home base. What is PYUSD's home base going to be? Where is it going to be the number one stablecoin at? And it does have an opportunity to be that for Arbitrum, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, let's just say I did want to come. Let's just say I held Bitcoin all this time, or I had a bunch of Bitcoin and I was trying to sell some down. The play might be to wrap your Bitcoin, right, into WBTC and then sell it for PYUSD and then deposit your PYUSD onto PayPal. There's no fees. There's no fees in any of that, right? You're just doing everything decentralized. Because I know, like I think you said your friend, they sold a lot on PayPal and they were just gouging them, right? Completely gouging them. But if that person would have done it on chain for wrapped Bitcoin in the PYUSD and then sent the PYUSD to PayPal, I don't think there's any fee to cash out that way because you're stable coin in the cash.
Well, I think they're gonna probably have a product that at least make it more affordable than what it was before. If you were using PUSD or something like that, incentivize people to use PUSD.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
PYUSD.
It's the only stable coin that takes on PayPal.
Yeah.
Right. So I tried to send USDC, they wouldn't let me. I was like, I got to convert this, and I converted it for free from USDC to PYUSD. I actually made a few PYUSD because at the time USDC was a little higher than $1, and I was like, this is awesome. So I converted it on chain using, I like to use MetaMask swap because of the airdrop potentially from MetaMask. So if I'm swapping on Ethereum anytime, I don't care where it's cheaper at. I like to do it on MetaMask swap just in case they do an airdrop. Like that's kind of my play there. So, but yeah, I'm excited for PayPal USD.
Yeah, I mean, it could definitely. It's gonna, this is another step forward for the entire space. I think because whenever you got the Web 2 brands coming in and working with Web 3 companies.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's jump into the next thing here, which is the Bitcoin crypto fear and greed here. All right, so last week we were at a 52. Yesterday we were at 70. We're a little bit lower than that 70. Where do you think we're at?
68.
Boom.
69.
Money
yeah,
right there.
Got it, baby.
So you got it.
Yeah.
So let's just say in 8 hours from right now, are we higher or lower than 68?
I think we're higher. I think there's a little bit of a sell down happening right now because the traders are at lunch, but I think they continue to pull things back up once they get back. So I think I think we end the day higher. So, for the people in the chat, we will get to you guys' questions once we do roll call here in a bit, but that's kind of how we do things here. Obviously, once in the blue moon, we'll jump into the chat, but we'll get to your questions very, very soon.
Yep, 100%. All right. Let's kind of get into the Bitcoin price action. The Bitcoin price action is brought to you guys by the great guys at Artura.finance. Artura, they're about to go live. They're a leverage trading platform on the Bitcoin L2 sector. The L2 that they choose is Botonics. Botonics is the spider chain. I'm really excited for Botonics because Botonics is incentivizing their chain with Bitcoin. How can you guys get some free Bitcoin? Go over to Botonics and start using it. And then if you guys want to double that, you guys can use Artura.finance in a few weeks or a week, or we'll see when this goes live. But really excited. Put the noties on because it might even be very, very soon. Put the noties on for Artura because when Artura goes live, you're going to have a few weeks, guys. It's not going to be long. They're going to get their point system up and going, and then you guys will have an opportunity to earn an ARA token. But not only that, when Botonics decides to do their airdrop, you're going to get some Bitcoin from them as well, guys. This is an opportunity I want our community to succeed from. So definitely check that out and be a part of the Artura community. And check out everything out at Artura.finance.
Absolutely. We had those guys on with us yesterday for their live segment and showcase the platform. So just be ready for that. It's going to be a fun time. But before we get into the Bitcoin price action, help us out, guys. On the YouTube side, smash that like for us and then subscribe to the channel and make sure you turn your notifications on so you know when we go live. On the X side as well, go ahead and hit that like and then share the space, man. There's going to be a lot of normies that are looking on crypto Twitter, and they either first time or haven't been in a while. So share the space. Let's get as many people in here as possible so we can educate, onboard as many people. And same thing for abstract. But let's get into some price action here. All right, I'm going to do a couple time frames, and then I'm going to jump to the ETH, Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin dominance chart today because I think that's really important to kind of see where things are with the alts, right? Because a lot of people are focused on that right now. But if you're looking at Bitcoin's hour chart here, Yeah, so you can see we had this pull down on Monday. It really started Monday after that big rise up to 123,000. So that was kind of rough, but kind of expected a pullback, right? And we have been kind of ranging sideways up until today. They decided they want to pull things up, right? So we'll see how aggressive things get. Right now, you know, I think 120 would be that next kind of threshold to get back above to see if Bitcoin can catch some momentum there. Looking at the MACD here, you can see that we're still in the buy pressure momentum. Yes, it seems to be exhausted a bit. That blue leading indicator line, this kind of goes first. So if it starts to curl down, we might see further down, or we could pop this back up because the orange line follows it afterwards, right? So right now it's kind of sitting a little bit above like the neutral area, right? So I think that we actually end up curling this back up when we stay up here for a little bit longer. I feel like that sentiment this morning was looking pretty decent for Bitcoin, but again, you know, with the ETH Bitcoin chart kind of moving up and Bitcoin dominance has been kind of pulling back, it could be a slower grind up. Maybe like we get to 120, 120,500, nothing crazy. Again, there's people calling for 130. I've been in that camp that I said between 120 and 130 by, you know, second, third week of July, ending July, maybe first week of August as well. So we could have that, but I think that maybe starts a little bit later. But we'll see. We'll see. So that's what I'm seeing for the rest of today. You know, some chop with a little bit of upside for Bitcoin. The 4-hour gives me a little bit of confirmation here. Looks, the sell pressure looks like it's closing up. You can see the blue line looks like it wants to kind of curl up here. If that's the case, then, you know, we could see a decent next 2 days, right? A couple days. So gives me confirmation with that. Let's take a look here at the weekly. Weekly looks great. Yes, we're still barely a blip of a red candle here, but this could definitely end green if we end by Sunday end really strong. So I would say just let's keep our eye on this, but the setup looks really good still. You know, we're still kind of chugging along. It looked like we were going to exhaust about 4 weeks ago, but we bounced back up. And this was something we expected because of the M2 global money supply that we've been using that has been leading Bitcoin pretty darn accurate, right? So yeah, looks good there. Let's take a look at the ETH Bitcoin chart. So this is something that we have been looking at quite a bit, you know, the past couple days. Shizzy and I, we haven't been showing it on the show other than the beginning of today. But looking here on the hour chart, you can see that there was some pullback because the very early hours this morning, it was just so hyper aggressive. I remember when we were prepping for the show, ETH had this crazy candle that came out of nowhere, and we literally thought that some legislation was passed. Right. And so we were just like, okay, was it a stablecoin act? You know, is it good to go? Is there some clarity, legislation passed? But no, it was just Ethereum kind of making a statement that, hey, look, this is what you guys think it is, but it's just the beginning. Now, since then, once the bell rang, we've had a little bit of a clawback, but that's okay. Look, I mean, these are hour candles, so that happens. That's happened the past couple of days as well, right? So I think that's just a natural kind of pullback here. But if you zoom out and kind of see this trend, it's looking really strong. You know, I would say we have a little bit more up to go and then sideways, because you can see that's kind of how it's worked with ETH going all the way back to kind of like the beginning of this month. It's been uptrend sideways with Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin making, this is typically whenever it makes really the strong run up like it did, you know, to 123. Then ETH is kind of taking back over. We'll see if Bitcoin makes another push this week or if that's going to happen next week. If it makes it this week, we might go a little sideways here, but we'll see. And then looking at the dominance chart. So on the hour, this matches up with what we saw on the ETH Bitcoin hour chart just now, right? So the dominance has clawed back up a little bit, but I'm not too worried about that. This is, you know, it's more of the daily chart that we really put a lot more into in terms of weight, I guess you could say. And, you know, for the day, we're still bringing that dominance percentage down, right? We started the day at, we started the day up here, actually, I think, yeah, up here at 63.86, and we brought it all the way down to 63.53. Now we're kind of hovering in here as it clawed back a little bit at 63.67. But look at yesterday, was crazy, right? Yesterday was just a crazy candle down, and I think this continues, right? We're gonna have a continuation. The goal is obviously to get lower than the previous low. And the previous low, zooming out here, was right here. If you look at 62.17, and that was right And you know, it makes sense now if you go back to when you said Ethereum jumped up from 1,800 to 2,500 or something, $700 you know, couple days. So that's what brought this up. So or sorry, that's what brought this down. And then Bitcoin started to take off. So I think something similar, but getting below this is going to be ideal, because then what will happen after that? I think what we'll see is an aggressive push up with these other alts, right? But yeah, so that's what I'm seeing. Let's jump on some crypto bubbles. So the daily for the bubbles looks really good for most alts here, ranked in the top 100. SPX is moving really strong. That was something I was thinking about maybe getting into, but it was just up already too much percent there at like 19% here. You could see, so strong move by SPX. You see Trump up 8.1%. Pepe up 6.8%, Flauky up 14.2%, and then Bonk up a whole 20%. This is a really big move for Bonk. Sheeb up 5.6%. So the memes look very strong. The only one that hasn't really looked too strong is our guy. I don't know where he's at right now. He's only probably one of the only ones that are red. Oh, he's barely green, 1.1%. Fartcoin. So a little weak there, but I do expect Fartcoin to catch up, because I do think it's going to kind of you know, rotate into Fartcoin. But let's see, it's a little slow starter this time. But Fartcoin has shown to be hyper aggressive to the upside. Pump is up 8.9%, and the Pump token was struggling quite a bit, actually, you know, right after launch. But a lot of, you know, some people expected it, just because, you know, it was people that got some airdrops. There was people that got, you know, some allocation and stuff. But then yesterday, it really had a massive move to the upside, right? So Pump looks like it's rebounding. Let's take a look at some utilities. Optimism up 6.7%. Litecoin up 3.4%. Cake, which is the token for Pancake Swap, up 3.4%. Cardano 88 up 3.1%. Caspa up 5.4%. And Ethereum, which we just talked about, up 6.3%. Hoping for a 10 plus percentage day, but hey, this is something I'll take, right? Up 6.3%. You got Quant up 3.2%. Jasmy, from some of you guys that played this last cycle, is up 5.6%. Then you have Aerodrome up 12.1%. This one is starting to get, you know, known more and more, as they have been selected as the AMM servicer for Coinbase. You got HBAR up 3%. What else? We got Near up 5%. Go ahead.
Like, staring at this kind of makes me, you know, realize that the two leverage plays, like a leverage on ETH, would be ENS, which is Ethereum name service, and Aerodrome, which is becoming the #1 DEX over there, you know, just behind Uniswap. But yeah, I mean, that's what I'm looking for right now. I'm looking for potential leverage plays, and I thought Polygon would be one, but it's not. I thought Arbitrum would be one, but it's not. It seems like the ones that are being the leverage plays right now are definitely ENS and Aerodrome, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, I think they're, you know, newer, and some of those other ones that you mentioned, like Polygon and Arbitrum, I feel like the founders are kind of like satisfied with how everything's going there, and like they have their own, like, it's not exciting for like retail users, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
the new names are a little bit more exciting, and the ones that are more in the headlines. And I'm not just saying, yes, Arbitrum's been in the headlines for like partnering with some of these companies, but I don't know how to explain why. You know, I just don't feel that same energy there. Over here, the top 200, Dog Go to the Moon up 5.4%. Definitely needed a bounce back there, so that's good. Congrats to the Dog Army there. What else do we see? Toshi up 23.5%. The one of the bigger memes on base, and so was Brett, 14.5% there. You got Barachain up a 20.2%. Pulse up 12.2%. I think Richard Hart, I think he posted the other day, so he might be coming back slowly. Kato,
he's done posting, but everyone's waiting for him to go live. Everyone, like that when he goes live, expect a 200% pump on X. Like, honestly, I'm not even joking with you. Like, that's the power of a Richard Hart live. He hasn't been live for over 3 years.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, well, he's kind of been in hiding, right? So,
yeah.
And then Starknet up 3.2%.
Finance is that CVX right there. That's I was in that last cycle. I got in at like 3 cents and it ran to like $30. That was one of my bigger wins. Convex CVX,
Nice.
far left, 18%. But yeah, so Convex Finance is something it uses some other protocols to kind of a curve. It uses curve finance to kind of get you a little bit yield, and it pays you the yield into CVX token. But that one's a huge DeFi product.
Gotcha. Yeah, looking pretty good here on the top 200 as well. Pith, which is a Chainlink competitor in terms of Oracle services, up 5.3%. But that's going to wrap up the Bitcoin and crypto price action and market pulse.
Yep. Great job, man, on that. Let's get into some comments here. So we like to get into the roll call. What we do here is a first is first thing. So that is not the right chart. All right, this is right here. So Lucky Lukey has 37 wins on the year. Congratulations to you with that first comment of the day. Every day it feels like it's Lucky Lukey, but yeah, you won 2 days in a row here. 3 times. So 2 times this week, Tuesday and Wednesday. WebDro won on Monday. We have 2 more days left in the week. But shout out to you, my friend. 37th win on the year. All you guys got to do to make this list, and this list goes all the way back to January 1st. All you got to do is make this list, is get in that number 1 spot. Beat out Lucky Lukey, beat out WebDro, and you guys can get in. But shout out to Lucky Lukey, man, again. WebDro is here. Shout out to WebDro. Quick question. Do you think Lucky Lukey watches the show, or do you think he just comes in, puts a comment in, and leaves? He's trying to get that Bitcoin frog. You think so?
I hope he watches. I think he does.
Lucky Lukey, let me know if you're here, bro. Is Lucky Lukey here? He's going to run to his computer. No, I'm kidding. WebDro, congratulations. Shout out to WebDro. Mr. Hanky, the Christmas poo. He loves me, and I love him. Shout out to Mr. Hanky, man. It's been a while since I said that. Choda is here. Shout out to Choda. Hydro Sapien every single day. Bro, he said, dog, go to the moon. We need a pump. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Merlin's Lucky is here every single day. Thank you so much, Merlin's Lucky. You are an absolute legend. Rare Sats Dom. Same thing with you, man. Awesome. Every day. Erdrick, every day this week, man. It's been great seeing your name here. I used to live by a street called Erdrick Street, so it's funny that you're there. Shout out to Erdrick. Agent Hustler Centerfold. Yeah, dude. I actually have that on the list. We're going to talk about Agent Hustler in a little bit. No is here. Shout out to No Abstract, my guy, every single day. Chips and Dip. You guys are absolute legends. Satoshi Nakamoto says ETH is centralized. What do you feel about that? When the Bitcoin maxis, especially Satoshi Nakamoto, says ETH is centralized.
I mean, it can be the dynamics of it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would say though it's not. It from a tech stack perspective, it's not like Solana is way more considered in my opinion.
100%. Spin. So ETH is only centralized if it gets 51%. If a group of people get 51%, that's how it gets centralized. Right now, I don't think it is. Spindrift says alt season starts with ETH. Yes, 100%, dude. Vader's time says it's time. Bitcoin Truth says yup, let's go. Crypto Winners here. So what's up, guys? I've been MIA. It's great to know I can go away for a while, and you guys are always here when I get back. Yes, sir. The most consistent show. I
was about to say.
Consistent show in all of crypto. Yeah. Coach Katz is here with the coffee and the donuts and the dog. Go to the moon. Shout out to Cash Katz, our guy. So glad to be here. Been a rough week, man. I'm sorry, man. It's been a rough week, but I'm glad you're here today. Hydro Sapien says it's time for the moon. Yes, sir. RuneStex is here. Shout out to RuneStex.
Yo.
He says, babyface Yagobi with the facts. Shout out to RuneStex. Shout out to the guys running that account over there. Stan says Powell's holding up progress. Yeah, he's definitely standing in the way of cutting rates for sure. Trump has no choice but to fire Powell. He gives Gary Gensler vibes. Wow.
Gary Gensler was, I think, a lot more hated.
Yeah. No, I gotta say you're wrong there, buddy. I love you, Stan, but I gotta say you're wrong there. RuneSec says they can't confirm or deny. Although you are paying taxes for the circus, buy Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, yeah, 100%. Stan says, "Wow, Powell's the catalyst." Yeah, RuneSec
is the catalyst. Yeah.
And 3 Republicans, McConnell, of course. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying. Yeah, so.
Was McConnell even present?
He's compromised, in my opinion. Democratic Party is aligned. They are a race commission.
Oh.
Okay. ASAP Veggie is here. He's on GM. Runes X is 1971. Yeah, that's the year the dollar came off the gold standard when Nixon went on live TV and said it. And everyone expected the stock market to plummet, but the next day the stock market was one of the biggest bumps ever because everyone was dumping the dollar to go into stocks and stuff like that. Tim Baker says crypto's on fire. Shout out to Tim Bake, AODR himself.
Yo.
Appreciate you being here, my friend. We got some new people here. Ali Plum says, I've got my bags ready now. Let's go. Yes, 100%, man. If you guys don't have bags by now, I mean, you had 6 months to get cheap stuff right there. He says, altcoins, says DJC 305 MIA. Ali Plum says XRP, XLM, XDC, and HBAR. You, my friend, are in it.
I think you work for the ISO 222 organization there.
And then he says, "Oh, and quant, yeah, of course,
now there you go. Quant. Added it on there. Go ahead."
DJC says, "Is Melania legit or not?"
Nah,
it's one of the most hated coins in all of crypto, in my opinion. Right?
Why would you? I mean, it's just I don't. There's no, in my opinion, there's no like catalyst for it to run super hard unless there's so much liquidity circling in an alt season to where they're just like a narrative to push it. You know what I mean? You've already like gotten Trump coin to all-time highs, Fart coin, SPX, all these things, and it's like, you know, last cycle literally it'd be like Melania, or, you know what I mean? And then like everybody, but no, I don't think it's gonna be anything special.
DJC says, "Do you guys answer questions? Just talk about Tron." Oh, we rarely talk about Tron. I think you got you gave it a one-off day. We never talk about Tron, but yeah, we do answer questions. So between 11:50 and 12 o'clock, we go through all the comments, and then at the end of the show, again, we go through any other comments too. We try to make sure we get to every question, though, for sure. So to keep your questions coming. Myself says, "Yep, ETH and Tron are dominant players in the fiat-backed stable," and that's the reason why we covered Tron, right? Because we got to figure out where all this USDT is going, and it's going to Justin Lend or Just Lend. So
yeah.
Chief Axel is here. Shout out to Chief Axel every single day. Chief Axel, we really appreciate you, my friend. Myself says, and ETH has more TVL than other chains combined. Yeah, 100%, dude. You can add all the TVL and all the chains. ETH is beating it. When ETH goes up, others go up too. 100%, man. Myself says, when BTC is in the 40s, that's the big exit. And you might be right. Let's take a look at that actually real quick. So the last time, so he says ETH BTC or no, he says Bitcoin dominance.
Yeah.
All right. So the last time that Bitcoin dominance was even in the 40s was...
There's a lot of people saying that we're not going to get that low, though, just because of how strong Bitcoin's been.
But think about it, though. If real estate comes online, let's say real estate is huge, right? That's technically against BTCD, right? Because so I think that I actually think I'm in the camp saying we get lower than 40. I'm in the camp saying we get to like 25, just because how much real world assets are coming on. And you know, BTCD has stablecoins involved. So what happens when stablecoin market gets to 10 trillion? Right? That's larger than Bitcoin.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's only a matter of time.
Yeah. I mean, Scott Bessent says 1 to 2 trillion by 2030, but I think he's just being extremely conservative there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't imagine there's not going to be more than that by 2030. Especially if it's going to be, I think it's going to be really vital to see how many banks really dig in here once stable coins you know, are fully legit in terms of regulation and all that stuff. Because if they do like dig in, then yeah, I think it's going to be much more.
Yeah, let's take a look at that real quick. I'm curious. We haven't checked the stablecoin stuff at cryptocurrencies categories. Jump this to S. Jump down to stable coins. Where are you, stable coins? Why am I not seeing stable coins?
What for?
Stable. There it is. I got it. All right. So right now we have Tether. Current supply is 159 billion. USDC 63 billion. DAI 5 billion. Athena. So DAI is now back above Athena, which shows you that people are taking loans out on ETH right now. Isn't that crazy? So that's the only reason why DAI goes up is if you stake your ETH into make your DAO, and then you get DAI as the counterparty. Would you get like half the amount of ETH? So it's showing me, dude, people are leveraging their ETH right now to get DAI and maybe buying more ETH.
Yeah. I mean, possibly.
Same thing with Athena. Athena's the same way. You have to leverage ETH, and that's how you get some USDE. World Liberty Fi right there with damn, dude. World Liberty Fi is 2.2 billion. That's shocking. I didn't know they had that much.
Yeah, but this is like, I think this is not really that much total compared to where it's going to head to. But
oh,
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like easily 10x, right? But like, where's Tether going to put? You know, right now they have all their money in treasury bonds. Is Tether going to be the largest holder of treasury bonds in the world?
I think Tether's going to do some sort of financial institution stuff too. I think they're gonna create something there because they just have so much. I think they have so much liquid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They have so much liquid assets, and so for them to also be I don't know if that's a conflict of interest, but them being a stablecoin issuer, I think it makes sense for them to be able to create products for consumers regarding directly that. But I don't know, man.
Stan says Hex, baby. Yes, Hex, dude. If Richard comes back live streaming, I don't think I'm not bullish. I'm not bullish enough on Hex for sure.
Yeah, I feel like real quick. I would say I feel like Hex last cycle literally found all the top salesmen in the United States, and then they did their tour because they're good at presenting and like
they are. That is the most cult-like community in all of crypto. There's no community that is more cult-like than Hex.
Dog, Richard Hart was kidding.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
I don't know. Richard Hart would go on wearing freaking crucifixes, and
that was weird.
The entire dude. He was a very weird man. Paulie says Cass is a good example of how Cat. I think. Wait, hold on. Where'd that go? There it goes. Cass is a good example of how far crypto still has to grow. Coin is technically superior to Bitcoin. What? Doesn't have the mysterious founder of the low supply, so it's not getting its due. All right, buddy. I love you, Paulie, but you are on some stuff here, but.
wait! Like the mysterious, I think you got to be sarcastic. I think he's being sarcastic here. He has to be.
I don't know.
Because those two reasons to me, I think are like the reason why Bitcoin thrives.
No,
there's not a founder. Yeah, there's not a founder that you can kind of point at and say stop messing up. And then the low supply is supply and demand. So I'm pretty sure he's being sarcastic here.
And think about it, the head guy of a ton, right? He gets arrested, ton drops 40% in one day. There's no opportunity for Satoshi to get arrested because no one knows who he is.
We got to read the full comment. Thanks, Runes Dex. It says, so it's not getting its due. Okay. Look, I jump the gun sometimes. Okay. So, okay. I see what you're saying. He's saying that technically superior and those two reasons are why it's not getting its due. Yeah. Sorry about that,
Paulie.
We agree with you. Maybe. I don't know.
Nocturnal is here. Shout to Nocturnal, man. Appreciate you. GM back at it. Let's go, man. DJ Clitty Litter is here. Sui, Say, Soul, Dog, Gizmo, Pups, Chain, Chill, Guy, Ordy, Obama, Sonic. All right, man. You are in some DJ. That's a well-rounded portfolio from a DJ.
Obama, though, I don't know the Obama Sonic in you or whatever it is. Leave that one off.
I saw a meme the other day. It was like I bought the wrong Bitcoin, and it was like Obama Sonic because its ticker is Bitcoin.
Was that smart Harry that Potter, they did that?
Harry Potter, Sonic, or whatever. I don't know. Maybe.
Shout out to DJ Clitty Litter, man. Haven't seen you in here in a while, and we met him 100%. In Nashville. So
yeah, a pleasure for sure. Runes Dex is here. He says, "I think stablecoins have a top. Most people will save in Bitcoin. No reason to hold dollars." Other than daily payments, business operations, cost, and be interesting. Well, so I think you're wrong for a couple of reasons. And the main reason is it was kind of what you said there. Operations, cost of business. I think a lot of businesses are coming on chain, right? I think only 0.5% of the businesses that are on chain right now, I think we're about to see 95% more than that, like 900% more companies come online. And they're all going to use stable coins to pay their employees, to buy things and stuff like that. So I just think we're just going to take TradFi and bring them all to stable coins. And that's kind of reason why I think that stable coins is going to be a top, because of how much, spending and buying and selling is going to happen through stable coins on there. But everyone's going to save in Bitcoin, right? You're going to go into Bitcoin for your savings account. Bitcoin, it's like kind of like having a checking and a saving. My checking is in stables, but my savings is in Bitcoin.
Yeah, I agree with that. But especially with these Web 2 fintech companies, stablecoins is going to be a big part of the industry.
Yeah.
But I agree with the holding Bitcoin, and that's for it to be like the one that you don't necessarily want to spend as much. But stablecoins are going to be useful here.
100%. Loving the comments today, guys. Keep them coming. Malam Yuri says, possible to take a loan with dog. Yes, you can go over to Liquidium. Liquidium, I forget the site. Just go to them on X. We're actually going to have Robin, the head guy over there, on Thursday's show. We're going to be talking about that and stuff like that. But yeah, head over to Liquidium. You can take a loan out on your dog. Don't recommend it, honestly, just because how the loans work. You got like 2 weeks to pay it back, and you got to pay a fee. But definitely do what's best for you. 100%. David says Doge is the next Shiba. DOWG. Okay, so he's shilling that. He's shilling Doge. Shout out to you, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. Myself says the dominance chart on CoinMarketCap gives a good visual of Bitcoin, ETH, others overlaid on top of each other. The dominance chart on CoinMarketCap. So I'm on CoinMarketCap. Where do I go to see the dominance chart?
I don't know, but dominance is bleeding right now. Like, it's back down to 63.51. So
I'll look into that. Thank you, myself. Yeah, is it bleeding? Well, so nothing matters between 11 and 1. Don't even take anything that happens during this period seriously.
But it's past that.
The traders aren't here.
Barely.
11 to 1. 11 to 1.
Oh, 1. I thought it was an hour break. Okay.
No, it's 11 to 1. Yeah. Runes Dex, technically superior. Okay, that's about your comment. Coach Cat says Cass crack smoker. All right. Stan says superior to Bitcoin. DJ Kidlitter says RH has more purses than Kim Kardashian. Yeah.
Richard Hart.
Yeah. Almost done 71, man. 2 days in a row. Appreciate you being here, GM. And then Coach Cash says been bullish on Liquidium. Yeah, I'm so bullish on Liquidium for sure. Definitely, if you're gonna take a loan out, do it over there for sure. But our good friend Sat Terminal, they're gonna be getting something going as well. So we have a lot of stuff in the pipeline, guys. It's really exciting for a lot of different projects building on Bitcoin. All right, let's kind of get back into some stuff over here, guys. Keep putting your comments in at the end of the show. We're gonna get back to all your comments, so just throw them in there, and we'll get them one by one, just like we always do. Okay. Where did we say? Okay, so Pump.fun. They actually recently they got their token now, Pump, and yesterday or the day before they set it up on their DEX. Pump.fun has their own DEX. They put a pool of Sol and Pump. So you were able to go over there and decentralize, be able to, in a decentralized way, you're able to buy the Pump token for the first time. Previously, you had the KYC and you had to do it through the exchange. So they opened it up, and in one day, they made over 187,000 Solana, equivalent to $30.5 million from the fees, and then dumped all that Sol. Well, not all of it, most of it, 118,000 of that Sol, and they bought back the Pump token, very similar to what Hyperliquid does. Absolutely huge. And then you saw the Pump token skyrocket for a limited time, right? And I don't think it was an entire hour. It was like a couple minutes, and then it came back down. But what do you think about this? Them using the fees to buy the Pump token, and do you think maybe potentially they might do that for the entire DEX? All the fees that the DEX gets, just dump them right in.
If they did that, that's game changing. But so it actually didn't claw all the way back. It sustained a good rise up. It's still up about 10%. So,
oh wow.
I mean, yeah. So that was effective. We saw Hyperliquid have this approach whenever they launched their token, where they airdrop their early users, which is great whenever a project does that. The problem is typically that token price will tank afterwards because of a lot of sell down. We saw that with Magic Eden. But to kind of mitigate that, they use their fees that they earn, a portion of it on the Hyperliquid platform, which is a lot, to buy back the token. And this worked very well. And Pump did that. Now, if Pump continually does that, even if they just do it with the Pump token fees that they generate, that's still, I think, a really solid strategy. If they do it with all of the platform fees and every token that's launched and all that stuff, that token could get absolutely crazy, because not only are you creating a better price token with a stronger floor, but you're also creating FOMO for people to jump in. And I'll say that the Pump token actually worked really well because they didn't feed back into the price until after the ICO and then the initial launch for a little bit, and then after people were kind of like kind of not feeling great about the price action, then they pumped that sucker back up big time. So now people are starting to look at it, kind of side eye it, and be like, oh crap, I missed that. I thought it wasn't really getting a lot of hype. And if they continue that, that's the thing. That's what people need to know. Are they going to have a continual feedback into the token? Because if they do, then that token could go astronomically high.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. It's kind of scary because how much money they make, right? What if they just start dumping that into the token constantly? Like it's
crazy.
It could get pretty wild, man. Forbes reports that Pump.fun's $20 million raise earlier this year was backed by big names, including Framework Ventures, which is a huge VC, Tether's CEO, and Peter Thiel. So the guys who are getting the tokens, the Pump token, are Peter Thiel, the Tether CEO, and VCs. But they all have, these vesting schedules and everything that comes with that. So I don't know how much they got and stuff like that. But I mean, think about that. If you want to pump the bags of Peter Thiel and Tether CEO, I mean, you just keep dumping your I mean, think about that for a second. You can just, that's how you be successful, is get the Pump token to a top 10 market cap. I mean, they could do it.
Yeah, and honestly, like the names there should probably have told people that this is something to probably get into, even though no matter how you feel about it, if you're just doing like opportunity emotions aside, I mean, Tether, first of all, big, huge in our space, a lot of capital, obviously very liquid. Framework Ventures, I'm not too familiar with, but then you add like Peter Thiel in there. That's a whole nother like conversation, right? So I mean, Peter Thiel and Tether CEO, I'm probably like they're both huge, but with that being said, like I think there's a lot of people expecting this token to do very well.
Top 10, end of the cycle. Top 10.
They're gonna. I do think that they have to create some other intriguing product offering other than just the Pump.fun launchpad. Yeah, like something that's like sustainable with substance and not just this casino thing, because that's where all the negative sentiment comes from. But hey, look, they were in the negative sentiment side on Cookie.DAO for the longest consecutive like time, more than anybody. There's a lot of hate towards them. Look, I'm not very fond of them, but it shows you that like whenever you're dealing with a whole nother class of money, like they can do whatever they want, in the space,
whatever they want.
Exactly. Yeah. And let's not even talk about like the $900 million they earned off of fees from their launch pad, right? So that's totally separate. And then they just raised 600 million again, right? So I don't love it, but it's probably an opportunity there.
100%. No, I completely agree. Cantor, moving along here, Cantor Fitzgerald is nearing $4 billion SPAC deal with Adam Back to buy between $3 billion and $4 billion worth of Bitcoin. A SPAC sponsored by Cantor Fitzgerald and chaired by Brandon Lutwyck. We know Lutwyck; he's part of the Trump administration. He raised $200 million in January for the SPAC. In its late stage talks to acquire 30,000 Bitcoin from Adam Back's Blockstream Capital. We know Adam Back has Blockstream, which is like they're building Liquid, which is a Bitcoin L2. They're building hardware wallets. They're really trying to build a foundation for Bitcoin, and they also have a investing company that they don't really invest much in. I think they just added the word capital recently, honestly, because I didn't see this. I mean, Adam Back has invested in 5 companies in the last 25 years, and 2 of them were before Bitcoin, right? And the last 3 were this year, and they were all Bitcoin treasury companies, right? So again, Adam Back is, a Bitcoin maxi, someone who I believe is a part of Satoshi. Multiple people are Satoshi, and he is he's the one who created proof of work, right? In Hashcash. So for him to be to maybe be selling some Bitcoin for capital to invest in these companies, and 2, to be, it was a little scary to me. I asked Yagobi straight up. I said, should this be concerning that Adam Back is selling Bitcoin pretty much for the first time ever in his life? And you said, you want to hit on that?
Yeah, I said, I don't think so, because, he's doing like an OTC type of deal, right? With a company that he knows is probably going to hold it and, watch it grow. And then also he might need the capital for acquiring more Bitcoin treasury companies. I know that's going to make a lot of traditional Bitcoin maxis upset. They hate Bitcoin treasury companies, but look, you said that he is an OG Bitcoin maxi. He is, but he's also I respect him more because he has that part of his mind that's open, even though he's been there since the early days. Like, you know, the creation, he communicated with Satoshi through the forums and all these things. And he's, you know, he's really brilliant. We know that. But making these decisions and stuff, he is in on these treasury companies, and he thinks that, you know, Bitcoin's going to get to 500K to $1 million this cycle top. He said that. For him to say that, other people, I'd be like, you know, that's kind of throwing that out around. You know, I've heard this every cycle, but with Adam Back saying that, I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit more weight to that.
Yeah, I agree. You know, to me, you know, I thought these Bitcoin treasury companies were kind of a shot in the pan, right, or something that is not going to last. But now I think that the ones who get in now, this year and next year, are going to be here forever. But the guys who get in late are the guys who might end up, you know,
struggling.
Michael Saylor struggled, right? Michael Saylor got in August of 2020, and then he was down on his Bitcoin buys in 2022 and even a little bit of 2023, right? So he had to suffer through and be told that you're a Jackie, and why did you do this? And he was like, hey, I'll buy your shares. I'll buy your shares. And now look at him. He has one of the largest, probably by the end of this year, one of the largest companies in the world.
Yeah. No, I mean, we can't deny that. I think like there's a lot of people that have a thesis that, you know, there's going to be maybe not a lot, but some people that there's going to be a situation where it's going to be a lot tighter in terms of like pressure and stuff. But I don't know, man, the way that he's created this flywheel, you know, he created another public company for that, specifically to continually buy Bitcoin. And look, if it continually goes up, how does he lose? Like, how does he lose if it goes, you know, to $500,000? You know, and he has 600,000 Bitcoin.
Well, yeah,
at an average cost of what, like 101 or something.
Adam Back?
No, I'm sorry, I'm talking about Saylor.
Oh, Saylor. Yeah. Saylor. 70,000 is his average cost.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, it gets to 500K and it crashes down to like 220. He's still golden.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree. I found this interesting. Bulgaria sold 213,000 Bitcoin in 2018. Now worth $25 billion, enough to wipe the country's public debt out. They could put everyone at net zero in the entire country if they would have just held on to this 213,000 Bitcoin. So we talk about Germany in 2024, in July of 2024. We don't talk about Bulgaria in 2018. Just imagine that they would be one of the largest holders. I mean, they have more than the US if they were just held on to this. Don't sell your Bitcoin if you're a country. Just print money. There's no need for you to sell your Bitcoin. Stop it.
I think they have a little bit more of an excuse than Germany does, because 2018, you know, regulations were being pressed still hard. You know, yes, Bitcoin was still kind of looked at differently, better than the other, you know, tokens, but still, like but Germany, in my opinion, had no excuse. Like they literally did it last year. So
12 months later, it's almost double the price you sold it. Well, it is more than double the price you sold it for sure. All right. So earlier today, $2 billion in USDT was minted through the Tether Treasury, and it was all on Bitfinex. Bitfinex is an exchange. I never really heard of Bitfinex, but they're an exchange. But what's going on? Why are exchanges going to Tether and ordering $2 billion USDT? Are people taking it off the chain? Are people just like, what's going on?
I'm not sure. But you know, Bitfinex, I thought isn't Bitfinex the thing that Arthur Hayes created?
Bitfinex? You might be right.
Yeah, and I feel like they ran into issues in the past. But anyways, yeah, look, 2 billion USDT minted. It just like we're just hearing about this like constantly, new minted stable coins coming on, and so like for me, I just can't imagine like how people are not bullish of this. I know that, you know, myself might not look like so much stable coins, that kind of type of thing, and people too. It's like the financial institutions are coming in trying to get control and stuff. That was inevitable. I think it's really just how you play your position as a veteran here, right? But that means like liquidity and capital are coming, and alts are going to thrive. the more stable that comes on chain, the more bullish I am, right? And we're hearing about the like constantly more and more being minted on chain, but I'm not sure why Bitfinex would need this, but look, probably to buy some assets up, right? Or use it for DeFi or something.
Yeah, 100%. Really excited though. I'm just really excited for the next couple weeks in Bitcoin, I think, and crypto.
Weeks,
well,
not
crypto
months?
mainly. I think, well, months definitely, but I think the next couple of weeks I think are going to be very, very bullish. I'm talking about, you know, all the first week of August, the second week of August, and maybe we get a little bit of pullback around September like we normally do. September is never a good month for crypto. October is always an amazing month, and I'm kind of expecting that again. So I'm I'm thinking the next 4 to 6 weeks are going to be really, really bullish with a pullback in September, and then all, you know, absolute insanity in October, November, December. But we'll see. All right, the last thing here, Agent Hustle migration is finally complete, and let me just grab something really quickly because our friend Jake sent us something. We could actually grab this post here, bring it over here. So Agent Hustle not only finished its migration, but now they have V3. V3 has landed. Here is the post here. V3 has landed. The Agent Revolution. We were gonna create a show called Age of Revolution. Isn't coming. It's here. Time to choose. Join the winning side and Agent Hustle and watch the sidelines. The future belongs to Agent Hustle. So Agent Hustle's migration has completed. Absolutely awesome. Congratulations. Migrate.fun is going to be absolutely huge in my opinion. And they use their own token to migrate first. So the TNSR token is now Hustle, all using Migrate.fun. Agent Hustle skyrocketed. Let's give a quick refresh on this. Agent Hustle went to 2.8, which is about $2.7 million. Just last week, that thing was like 1.7. So congratulations, the guys at Emblem Vault. Absolutely huge right now to be, you know, first off migrating successfully without any FUD, which I thought was awesome. And now dropping the V3 has landed. And we are two people who are highly excited about V3 because we will be able to do some AFK trading away from keyboard trading and actually put in orders. You want to explain that a little bit too?
Yeah. So the V3 is going to have conditional trading.
Conditional, that's what it is.
Yeah. And initially, you know, probably want to keep it very basic, right? And you know, Hustle will get better. Just my experience utilizing Hustle over, you know, the past 6 months is that like, in the beginning he could do a couple things, and then as time went on he's just like opened up more and more and more, and I think that's how it's going to work with conditional. So, you know, if you say, hey, I want you to take a position 20% lower than where Solana is with you know, 2 Solana or whatever, to Bitcoin, or if you want to do Fartcoin with 2 Solana, right? And then, you know, have an exit plan at a 50% or 200% increase. You could do that. I know you could do that with limit orders as well, right? But the difference is you're using an AI and you're putting together a custom strategy as well, right? And so once you're able to do that, you can just go to the gym, work out, whatever, come back, and you know the trade will be executed, right? So that's exciting. But it also makes me think about, you know, when perps comes around as well, right? Because I feel like Hustle will get to a point to where you're talking strategy as well, you know, pasting charts in and stuff like that. Now that's me coming from like a trading mentality, but it's exciting, man. And these guys have been crushing it. Look, there's a handful of legitimate AI projects in the space. Hustle is one of them. We know, you know, the Merlin Wizard is another, and you know, you have a couple others out there as well. But you're talking about that, I think, where they're actually doing DeFi stuff for you guys and stuff like that. There's maybe 5 to maybe 8. And then there's like supposedly like 1,000 AI projects, right? So just do your due diligence on AI projects. Make sure that you know, they actually have like an AI component that you can use. And Hustle is something that you can test. You can test it out now. And I would say try it out, because right now it is free. But there will be a component involving the Hustle token, probably here in the near future, to where there's going to be a subscription of like the advanced tools. But what they have said is they always want to have some sort of free version for the public. So try it out.
Yeah, 100%. And I think everyone should have at least some exposure to AI, whether that's a virtual project or something that you are bullish on, because I think the AI sector is going to explode. Like I think that every portfolio should have a DeFi project in it, should have an AI project, should have some Bitcoin, should have some Ethereum, honestly. And then, you can grow that portfolio. But something like Agent Hustle, and guys, we're not pushing this on you at all, but just think about where like $1 billion cat is, right? $1 billion cat is 12 million. Agent Hustle's at 2.7 million dollars. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but I'm just telling you what I'm doing. And Agent Hustle is something that I am accumulating for sure. Really bullish on the guys that move all, really bullish on Agent Hustle. But before we get into our next thing, as we're waiting for Cyclops to join us, let's jump into some runes update here. So let me give a quick refresh on this. So we do see that the a little bit red for the NFTs here, but they had a huge week, dude. Huge week for the NFTs. ALU, shout out to ALU, up 36% on the day. Absolutely huge. While you got stuff like Node Monkeys down a little bit, Runestone down a little bit. But like I said, if you zoom out, let's go to the 7-day. It is very green.
Yeah, they had a big day like 2 days ago, like you said.
Yeah.
It was huge. I mean, it was a breath of fresh air to see the likes of Node Monks and puppets and stuff to rebound, because I'll tell you, man, it looked really bleak for a minute there.
Yeah.
And Node Monks going from 2,700 to 4,700, it might not seem like a huge jump if you remember Node Monks at a floor price of 50K, but
yeah,
you got to start somewhere to kind of grind back up, right? And I feel like this is that first kind of indicator is okay, life is coming back into the Ordinals ecosystem. And I love Ordinals, not only because I have an Ordinals hat that I wear all the time, but because there's a soft place in my heart for Ordinals, because this is where we started our content careers at in 2023. It's covering BRC20s and Ordinals, and it was fun, man. I'm not saying that it's not still, but the 2023, if you experienced it, you know what I'm talking about. And so I'd like to see that come back. And there's so many cool like intricacies and stuff about Ordinals, like early inscriptions, rare sats, stuff like that you don't get in the typical NFT environment. And so love to see it, and I hope it continues to thrive upwards.
Yeah, 100%. And like Bitcoin Frogs, $950 right now. Like a huge upward momentum for them. They got down to like almost 500 at one point. No Monkeys for sure, up 54% on the week. But let's go back to the daily and let's check out some runes here. Bitcoin runes, we got Dog up on the day, 5%. Pups, what a huge day, up 15%, back at $19 million market cap. I want to see Pups back at its 40, 50, 60. Very bullish on Pups. Billy, up 9%, over 12.6 million here. Mim had another good day, back at 43 million. And then you got Lobo back over to 12. Lobo got down to like 9 million the other day, and then huge bounce back over to 12. And then Gizmo, the imaginary kitten, one of my favorites here, up 2% on the day, 4.7 million. This is a lot of room to run, in my opinion. Satoshi Nakamoto, bro, up 44%. What is going on with Satoshi? Are you still bullish on it? It used to be.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I definitely exited my position because that was so long ago. It was whenever Runes launched, right? And I'll tell you, we paid more than we should have for it, but that was because during the launch of Runes, everything was overhyped. But I do feel like there's always been this person that's had a game plan for it, right? There was 20% of the supply that was minted to one wallet. That scared some people, but it also, showed resilience in the very beginning. But it jumping back here makes me think that the person that initially, etched this rune, excuse me, had a plan and is trying to roll it out, right? So we'll see what that plan was, what happens with the 20%. But I think the whole Kraken interest has really made some of these early runes etchers kind of raise their eyebrows and be like, oh, are we back? Is it happening now? So I think that's what's bringing them back. We'll see another one like that's Feihu. We'll see if RuneCoin comes back. We saw that with decentralized, so.
Yeah, 100%. And then we're seeing stuff like Piggy. I don't know what Piggy was, but it's up 74% today at 185K market cap. But it is cool to see some of these small caps kind of run a little bit here. I'm really excited to kind of see what happens to a lot of these smaller cap coins. But it's great to see Runes and Ordinals green in the same week, right? Really excited because what normally happens is you see Runes run or coin on Bitcoin run, and then a lot of that money gets pushed back into NFTs. But this time we saw the NFTs run first, so that was cool to see.
Yeah.
So
yep.
All right. We're still waiting for Cyclops, right? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, let me see where they are.
I have the link. But
Okay.
let's just kind of get right into it. So every week we do a segment here with the Sats Terminal team. Sats Terminal is a partner of ours. These guys are building an amazing aggregator. What's an aggregator? Aggregator is the number one place to go to buy your runes and altcoins, mainly because they're going to find you the cheapest price. Why go to .swap? Why go to Magic Eden? Why go anywhere else besides Sats Terminal when you know by going to Sats Terminal they're going to make sure that they're going to check everywhere for you, basically. And it's really my favorite place to go because I'm also earning. I talked about earlier one MetaMask potentially to get an airdrop. I do the same exact thing with Sats Terminal. I'm not saying they're going to airdrop anything. I'm just saying there is Amber points, and I want to get as many points as possible. So I am accumulating as many Amber as I can, and they're gonna do something with the Amber. I'm not sure what it is, but really excited to get some Amber and be a part of that. Remember, this is it's only a 90-day thing there. It's not going to be forever, so you definitely want to get as much Amber as you can. But without further ado, let's bring up Cyclops. Cyclops, welcome back to OnChain Revolution. Thanks so much for being here, sir.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
It's going well. How are you?
I'm good. Just was doing some yard work.
How's the weather up there? Is it nice? It looks nice.
This is it's not 90 degrees, so I'm outside a little bit, trying to take advantage of it.
Yeah, for sure.
But, yeah.
You got to. I know how that's like living in Texas. If it's a cool day in the summer, you're definitely going to run outside as fast as possible. But let's talk a little bit about what's been going on with Sats Terminal. The market's obviously been nuts since the last time we talked. And now it seems like the alt market is wanting to kind of jump on board as well. What's going on from Sats Terminal's perspective? Are you guys seeing more activity? What are you guys seeing?
It seems like the prices of a lot of runes are starting to go up. I haven't personally checked the volume, but I think it's probably picked up a good amount. I can check right now.
Gotcha. But what about sentiment? I know that you guys do a lot of spaces as well, and you guys join spaces. Are you guys seeing a lot of chatter of people are anticipating this big runes and alkanes boom because you guys service both of those standards?
It definitely seems like there are people there. It also seems like people are kind of with their heads down building as fast as they can, frantically. So it's kind of like a mix of the two. It looks like because Bitcoin just had that big green candle. But it looks like the alts are also pumping a lot. Like ETH pumped a lot. So that's just kind of positive news of everything kind of moving into all the alts, especially the Bitcoin alts. And ordinals were pumping for sure.
Yeah.
That's
for sure. Yeah, ordinals pumping, that was a big sign for sure, 100%. And then but I think one thing to kind of look out for is, ETH pumping, does that actually trigger the Bitcoin assets? Because it's weird. This is one of the first kind of scenarios in a cycle to where Bitcoin assets are really that relevant, other than Bitcoin, right? And are they going to respond off of ETH? Are they going to respond off of Bitcoin? Well, we've seen they don't necessarily respond off of Bitcoin too much whenever it goes up, but that's going to be something intriguing. But you guys partnered with another platform in the Bitcoin ecosystem called Satgo. We had the pleasure of having NFTsupply on our show before, but I wanted to go ahead and bring them up so you guys can kind of talk about that real quick. NFTsupply, what's going on, man? How you been, brother?
Good, man. How you guys doing?
Doing well.
Good.
Yeah, we had you on the show, I want to say probably about three months ago. And Satgo, for the audience, could you kind of break down what Satgo is and the platform and how it's useful for the community?
For sure. And yes, I totally remember. It was a great show. Appreciated you guys having me on. Satgo is the Everything Bitcoin app that you can download on the App Store for iOS. Android is coming incredibly soon. Allows you to discover, trade, buy, sell ordinals, runes, rare sats, get alpha push notifications, purchase Bitcoin right on the app with MoonPay and Apple Pay, and portfolio management as well, and a lot more coming.
Yeah, 100%. I love your app. I have it on my phone right now. I love the push. I mean, the constant notifications that I get. Right, it's great. This is up. This is down. This is cool. It's really a way for me to kind of check what's going on with just in my notifications. I can check my text messages and see that some node monkey sold for a crazy price.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Do you have the widget yet?
No, I should probably get the widget. No, I just have the app right now.
You got to get that on, so you don't even have to open the app. You can just check all the prices right from your home screen.
Oh
Even
man,
better,
that's awesome.
even better.
Yeah, I know you guys had like a king of the hill. Is that what it was called? That kind of showed.
Yep.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so the King of the Hill is the most popular thing being minted as far as runes are concerned. Obviously, given the market these days, there haven't been a lot of fresh new runes being minted. So the one that's been predominantly dominating that for the past couple months has been uncommon goods, to no surprise. But trading wise, I would say, the usual suspects, dog, pups, Lobo,
Gotcha. Well,
pups.
I was talking to Cyclops right before we brought you up about how like Bitcoin assets responding to possibly ETH, being their trigger as well. We've seen Bitcoin be hyper aggressive towards the end of last year and then parts of this year, but as of late, really hyper aggressive, and not necessarily these Bitcoin assets not necessarily like responding directly off of that. How do you view it? Do you think Bitcoin really dictates them, or do you think they're going to be kind of dictated off of the overall alt market?
Yeah, I think it's really more so the overall alt market. You're kind of seeing Bitcoin dominance drop quite a bit recently, which is obviously why you're starting to see altcoins move. Generally, what happens in terms of the way that the liquidity flows is, you make your money on Bitcoin, and then eventually ETH starts to run, and then if ETH and collectible assets start to run after that, because people take their profits from whatever they made with altcoins and put it into things like non-fungible collectibles. So I think that I tweeted this yesterday. I think we're almost at the point where we finally start to see an Ordinals run.
Do you think that's just Ordinals, or do you think that's Ordinals, BRC20s, runes, like the whole Bitcoin ecosystem?
I mean, I'm going to just be completely honest
Yeah,
over here.
100%. That's all we want.
Even though it might be bearish for my bags, I don't see it for runes just yet. I was really hoping to see a lot more volume than we saw with Kraken. Hopefully a couple other tier one sexes follow with that. I'm obviously hopeful. I will say that, and obviously we're talking about that over here, is ever since we integrated Sats terminal, the experience feels, it's night and day compared to, what you traditionally had trading on Magic Eden previously with the whole aggregation service. But it's not really even like UI UX. It's just like, there are communities with like the memes, like you have a dog army, but like you need more than that. I'm not really seeing the whole fungibles on Bitcoin, no matter with its runes, alkanes, BRC20s. I've yet to see a super, super bullish indicator. I'm kind of in wait and see mode, but I'm here to build everything I can to make it so that when that moment does happen, onboarding is super easy. But
Yeah.
that is my
100%.
that is my cold hard truth. I do have a very different stance when it comes to non-fungibles like ordinals.
What?
I do
Real
think
quick
that
though,
ordinals are going to have their
what
day
changes
sooner
your
than
mind on
runes.
that? Does a dog 1 billion market cap change your mind on potential runes, or no?
Yeah, the problem with runes right now is that you're really just seeing the same buyers as the liquidity. You're not seeing fresh liquidity yet. You need some
Gotcha.
sort of a catalyst to bring the people from Solana and Base into Bitcoin, and you just don't have that yet. I'm not exactly sure what that catalyst is. I have some ideas, but once I start seeing people from those ecosystems starting to really dabble in Bitcoin again, then I think you start to see it a little bit more. I mean, we saw Thread Guy the other day was saying that he's even following ordinals floors. So I think once you start seeing the timeline talking about it a little bit more, we're just not there yet. Like we're in a little bit of an echo chamber in the Ordinals community right now. But once we start seeing a little bit more of the Sol and the base ecosystem starting to mess around in rooms, then I do think that we start having that day.
Yeah. No, I first of all, appreciate your honesty there. And I mean, you guys are a platform that services runes as well. So it's not like, this you having that opinion is the best for it. But at the end
Yeah,
of the
I'm
day,
just calling it as I see it.
yeah, which is great. That's what we want, for the audience. But I think this is what I think, runes needs. I think runes like tokens like Dog of the Moon has to have retail, because the reason that Dog is even strong right now with its community is the social viral effect that it has. But if you are only like being socially viral in this group of non-new retail users, then you're not going to be able to continually go up, versus something like Solana that has like VCs and stuff they have large amounts of capital that can push that up, right? And I think that's why you see the likes of Pingu and these other tokens reach that $1 billion status so much quicker. But we'll see if they can keep that social energy up. I do think once retail does come over here, and if that happens, Dog will definitely benefit from that. But like you said, until we see it, it's kind of like wait and see. But Cyclops, real quick, I want to talk about the collaboration between Satgo and Sats Terminal. Could you get into that? What does that look like? How are you guys collaborating together? You're on mute, buddy.
Yeah, from what I know, we are integrated within Satgo. So like NFTsupply, like because there's some things in the group chat, like I think he could probably speak to, because I just don't want to speak for some of the things that are going there. But yeah, we're integrated into Satgo, and like we're really excited about that.
Gotcha. NFTsupply, could you talk a little bit about that? Like, what does it look like? What makes this a better Satgo product? I know you mentioned a little bit, but if you wouldn't mind getting into it a little bit deeper.
Sorry about that. My AirPods just totally disconnected for a quick second. Can you guys hear me right now?
Yes, we can.
All right. So what we've done is we've integrated the whole Sats terminal backend into the app now, and we've kind of built our own UI UX around it. So now you have a really, really smooth experience for buying and selling runes. So now whenever you buy a rune, it's going to automatically hit Sats terminal's backend, and it's going to go through and show you the best quotes or other ones if you'd like to select other ones, and then it feels instantaneous as L1 Bitcoin can feel now within the app.
That's awesome. So I do know you guys have like a point system. I know Sats Terminal has a point system. By using the Sats Terminal backend with your front end, am I earning your points and Sats Terminal points?
Yes, you are.
Ooh, that's interesting. That's interesting. So potentially going to own Amber. What's the name of your point system, or is it just points?
We haven't given them a name. They're just Satgo points.
Satgo points. Yeah. So that's an opportunity.
Maybe we should give them a name.
Well, we got Amber, which is a great name by Sats Terminal. It gives something like this again, earn Amber and diamonds or something like that. But really awesome for anyone. That's huge alpha. If you're listening right now, potentially if you're buying runes, might want to do it through Sats Go, because you're getting the Amber points and potentially your points as well. That's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, the app's in review by Apple right now, so I would give it like 24, 48 hours before that's live, and we do like a proper announcement, but that's definitely alpha.
Gotcha. So, I mean, when we interviewed you, we learned that you have a lot of like app developer experience, and no surprise that you guys get these apps pushed through the Apple App Store and all these updates and stuff. So, what would you say that you're most excited for, like the future of Satgo?
We got a lot of stuff cooking right now. There is a pretty big new feature within the Ordinal section that we're launching soon. I'm obviously very excited to finally get Android out the door, because that is by far the number one question that I'm asked by everyone is when Android on the timeline. So that is there. We're just testing it. But that is fully built, and will be live very soon. Aside from that, there's something else that we've been cooking up that's
I think you broke up right before you were going to announce that.
Yeah. Yeah. Gotta try again.
It's called, and then broke off.
Yeah. I think he's probably getting that situated. But, you know, we had Satgo Shizzy on, like I said, 3 months ago, or Satgo. And, you know, both of us liked the application. And the one thing that was really cool about these guys is that they were one of us, right? Like they, you know, NFTsupply was a collector. He was really big into like the rare sats and stuff like that. So, really excited that they kept that passion this entire time. Even the ups and downs of Ordinals have not been an easy thing.
Not even a little bit, man. It's Ordinals actually got hit the hardest, in my opinion, right? I mean, because they went from May of 2024 was absolutely insane, right? And then, you know, we've been in a year and, you know, almost a 14-month bear market, and they're just bouncing back now. So,
Yep. Looks like we lost NFTsupply there. He might come back, but we'll let you guys know if he does. But Cyclops, to kind of get into Sat's terminal a little bit. Oh, there he is. All right, we got you
there,
back.
buddy.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It totally froze for a second. What's the last thing you heard from me?
You were about to announce that second part that you're excited about, and then it just like you lost connection.
Yeah, you're basically like, it's called, and then ...
Gotcha. Okay, sorry about that. I'm in Tel Aviv right now, and the internet here is not as good as it is in the States. But what I was saying is that we have some very exciting stuff coming out for Ordinals, which will be a unique section that's part of the Ordinals part of the app. Very excited, obviously, for Android to go live as well. That's been the number one question that we've been asked by people on the timeline and in my DMs nonstop. Is when Android, so that is finally coming. We also have a separate platform that ties into Satgo, but is a platform in and of itself. That we will announce when the time is right, but it is a banger of a name, and we have a banger of a domain, and that will make a lot more sense once we properly announce it. And then another cool thing that I guess I'll give you guys some alpha. We haven't properly announced it either, but we have a really cool Liquidium integration that we're putting into the app. So you'll be able to check for your loan status on the widget. So you can see when a loan's expiring as opposed to just having the Telegram notifications. You'll be able to borrow and lend within the app. And then aside from that, as I'm sure it's no surprise to anyone, is we are definitely dabbling within the Spark ecosystem as well. So there's a lot cooking behind the scenes. Definitely keep it busy.
What are you guys doing with the Spark ecosystem? Like, are you guys doing the LRC20? I understand if it's too much, but like, I'm just curious. I was listening to a space with Leonidas, and they had the guys over there, the LRC20s and stuff like that. Do you know if you're gonna have to bridge Ordinals in over there?
It's not really a bridge. What's going to happen is you're going to end up having a LRC20 address, so to speak, spun up, derived from the same private key that you have in Satgo.
Oh wow.
The first thing that is likely going to go live is something along the earning yield with their USDB stablecoin within the app. There's some other really exciting things outside of that we're working on, as well as Magic Eden's working on. But ultimately, from their perspective, you know, they want to have as much wallet support as possible, right, to get it fully integrated into all ecosystems. That's all I'm willing to talk about right now.
Thank you. Sounds great.
Yep. All right. Cyclops, kind of passing it back to you. Love to hear any updates or anything that you guys, other than the collaboration with Satgo for Sat's terminal, anything you're excited about coming up?
Nothing that we kind of say publicly right now. But you know, like there is the yield and hedge coming down the line. There's like a project that like I'm exploring right now behind the scenes. So not ready to announce that at all. but it's been taking a lot of time, so it's like I'm excited when I announce it, but right now it just kind of looks like it's
Gotcha.
you know.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. One last thing I wanted to talk to you about, and maybe NFT Supply can comment a little bit about this as well. But I'm curious as to your opinion on runes and alkane's adoption. Right, and we even hinted on LRC20, which is another standard that's coming, and it just seems to never end. But what do you see from Sats Terminal's perspective as an aggregator? Like, do you see the mass adoption happening? Do you see like clumps like of people only in runes, clumps only in alkanes, or are they like crossing?
I mean, we're getting volume. I think for alkanes, things become more like apparent when we have cells available with their AMMs. So like they just announced it, and we're starting to integrate it. It's just trying to get through the whole backlog of everything before it's in there. But like I think the true test is when you see that happening. But honestly, like now, this reminds me of like 2020 a little bit, and like I know we expected it. So I was always like a little hesitant because everybody said it was going to happen at one date, and usually when everybody says like we're going to be in a bull market at this exact time, that's just not going to happen because everybody's just expecting it. It's that whole efficiency market idea. So like I think like we're starting to get to that point where like I think a lot of people have just thrown in the towel, and now it's starting, like the market's starting to move, and I think it's probably like we're gonna see like a big move, and then people are gonna like altcoins really just kind of go off once people like really see that, like the general public, because that's how I entered in as retail last cycle. And it's like, so I'm just like staying patient. Like I'm not really chasing anything. I'm just staying where I am right now. Just because if I chase, like it doesn't do well. But like I think that for like runes and everything, it's just a matter of waiting, because it's like the same thing that happened to ordinals. The time will come. You just don't know exactly when. And if you try to predict it too much, you're just going to be too disappointed. But like we have all the infrastructure in place, and the volume's still there, so we're
Yeah.
just volume.
I think that's a great answer, and you're right. I mean, this cycle actually is not even your typical cycle, right? Like where alts have a little pump in the beginning of the year, and then towards the end of the year. So trying to predict everything to be perfect is really hard in crypto, and it happens when you least expect it. So having infrastructure there right now and ready, like what you guys are doing, what Satgo's doing, I think it's very important, right? Because whenever they say, okay, game on, you guys are going to be ready, right? So I want to give NFT Supply a chance to kind of answer that as well. Do you agree with Cyclops that just having the infrastructure ready and not trying to time it is the best approach?
I couldn't agree more. That's why we've been continuing to build throughout the ups and downs of this market, because that moment is going to happen, like I was saying, and like Cyclops was saying. And when it does, it'll be glorious, and we'll be ready for it. But to also comment about what you were saying about like all the other standards, I think that when it comes to placing a bet on which of the standards I think are going to gain any sort of real adoption, like Alkane's had cool adoption for a couple of weeks because like Halfbanger and Bunzi created like a really cool narrative, but then it kind of died off after that. And I think that ultimately what it comes down to is dollars and cents. And I think that the Spark team being backed by David Marcus and the whole, former Libra team, and having the stamp of approval from Magic Eden is probably the one that's going to have the best shot of gaining any sort of real adoption because of dollars and cents and real world relationships. And that's, again, I think just the cold hard truth. And I don't think that the other protocols have that. While they're all based builders, and I'm not saying that they're not, because they 100% are, I'm just a realist, and that's how I see it.
When you said Libra builders, you mean the stablecoin from Facebook?
Yeah. Are you unfamiliar that that's
Wow.
who's behind Spark?
I had no idea. Not so right now.
David, you guys should look up who David Marcus is, and then you'll have a better
do it right now.
understanding. And then you'll have an understanding of why Spark is, has already this Magic Eden stamp of approval and who they are. This is
I mean, the same.
powerhouse
Yeah,
team.
the same people who built Sui and Aptos, right?
Correct.
Like pretty much
Correct.
part of that team.
Correct.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Well, that
Oh,
actually
wow.
makes me, that makes me bullish because we know what they're capable of, number one.
Oh yeah.
And then they picked the Bitcoin ecosystem to build. So the Bitcoin ecosystem is still going to be a winner, is what you're saying. It might not be the way that we see it right now. Was that what am I?
100%. I mean, if you also guys recall, did you see what happened with Plasma, which is backed by Founders Fund and Peter Thiel? I mean, they were able to raise, $500 million in a total of an hour. They only ended up actually raising 50 because what they ended up doing was giving 450 million back of it back to people, which then ultimately they're going to use on the sidelines to ape back into the ecosystem. But they're doing stable coins using Bitcoin L1 as a data layer with Arbitrum. So like it's very much a thing by very smart people in the world.
Yeah, and I think we're in a different era of crypto. I think like organic growth and stuff, like Ordinals obviously had that growth and it thrived with it. But now that you have institutions and big money coming in, like you said, there's no better technology than number go up, and when number go up, more people come in. And if they're able to do that, but the good thing is you got Sats Terminal, you got Satgo ready, and both of you guys are really fast, amazing builders. So once that standard does come into play, you guys are going to be able to integrate that. Is that the mindset?
1000%.
Wow.
Awesome.
Well, this has been incredible, informative, everything, man. Really appreciate your time. Your knowledge is insane, by the way. Like the fact that you know more than I do. Like this is the first time in a long time we had a guest on, and I learned something like that I didn't know about the space that's happening outside what they're building. Absolutely incredible, and we'd love to give you stage one last time to talk to the audience here.
We can start with NFTsupply if you don't mind.
Just thanks for having me. Glad you learned something. Always happy to educate. Download Satgo on the App Store and give me a follow on Twitter at NFTsupply and then follow Satgo at Satgo BTC. It's all for me.
Absolutely appreciate it, NFTsupply. And Cyclops, go ahead and send us off.
Yeah, like I know it seems like a little bit quiet, but like really cool things are being built right now with Sats Terminal. Excited to be showing that. Please follow us on Twitter. Come into our Discord. Start engaging with the community. Start farming Amber. Start trading on Satgo so that you can earn their points, our Amber, and then the marketplace's Amber or their points on whatever marketplaces. It's a big win-win. And Bitcoin DeFi, I think it's going to be huge.
Yeah, agreed. It's inevitable. Well, thank you so much, NFTsupply from Satgo, and as always, Cyclops from Sat Terminal. Thank you guys for spending time with us and our audience here, and we will talk to you guys later.
Thanks for having us on.
Yep. See you guys. Absolutely awesome as always, man. Really awesome to talk to Cyclops. NFTsupply, dude, his knowledge. Like I wasn't even joking. Like I had no idea David Marquez was a part of the Libra team. I knew he was a part of what they're building over there, but we got to have someone. I got to learn from having somebody on because if they have the experience from the Libra team, think about that for a second, real quick. I know it's time to go and everything, but
no, you're good.
Facebook had Sui, Aptos, the guys who were building the stablecoin stuff, and now they're nothing. Now they're restarting as like this AI company. Think about where they would be if the regulation was anywhere near what it is today. Like it's wow.
Yeah, no, I agree with you in that aspect. Yeah, but I think they're starting from scratch on something, by the way, in the crypto space. I forgot what it is.
Are they?
But I will say this, and I kind of hate to say this, but I gotta say it too. Like the facts that NFTsupply said there about number go up technology is basically what he was saying, but he's more saying capital power. And now, I mean, Peter Thiel, yeah. Right? Like he's entered this realm, and it's money can make a lot if you do it right. Money can make a lot of things happen, right? Now, I think he's the type of person that's very innovative and he thinks forward and he has the right people around him for new industry. So he's not going to have a problem. Maybe some of these like older like financial institutions or stuff like that that don't prepare correctly come into our industry. They might have some struggle in the beginning, but if they have enough capital, they can put the right people there. So the point that I'm getting into here is that the Bitcoin ecosystem, I think, from what I heard today, is it's probably going to look very different 12 months. We already thought it was going to look different, but the investment capital that's coming in here and what they're going to be able to do with that. Do I think these organic builders will still be here? Yeah, I think a good portion of them will. I think some will probably not continue because they can't compete. But it's all about like adapting to what the masses end up wanting, right? And we've been here since 2020, early 2023, and we've seen the organic growth, and that's been awesome. And like, I don't ever want to like take that away from any builder, but I think we're entering a different phase of the Bitcoin ecosystem.
100%. It's going to get more corporate too. I mean, there's opportunity in Bitcoin that that same opportunity isn't there on ETH, because we don't have the products that ETH has, and we know the blueprints, right? So all we got to do is take those products and put them on Bitcoin. It sounds like it's easy, but it's going to be very hard. But with a lot of money and a lot of capital and a lot of really smart people, those products can be a part of ETH, whether that's Arch, whether that's Middle, or whether that's Spark. But there's a lot of innovation to come to the Bitcoin ecosystem, and I don't think a lot of people are going to be caught off guard by it, and they're not ready.
Yeah, I agree. But we will, obviously, we're going to get you guys ready. So we got some homework to do in terms of that. But you have to remember, a lot of this has happened recently, right? And so a lot of investment has come into it more recently. So we'll see. We'll definitely have some. Hopefully, we can get some builders in the Spark ecosystem, some builders into these other areas. And I'm with you. Myself says I love organic growth. I hate artificially pumped VC pre-sales. Look, the thing is, I agree with you on that. I love organic growth. Like Ordinals was beautiful the way it happened, all those things. But at the end of the day, you got to think about what's going to get those people that degen on Solana into like get to multiple. Like our theory that fungible tokens that live on Bitcoin should be the successful ones should never be like less than $1 billion market cap. I think that theory is right, but it's not happening as it is on other chains. And I think the other chains, what they have that Bitcoin doesn't, is what you're saying here. It's the VCs, it's the capital that pushes those tokens and stuff. And I'm not saying I'm for that, the manufacturing of it, but people can have success that isn't a part of the cabal group. As long as you get in, you're educated and stuff like that. If you get in early enough, I don't know how I completely feel about it. I have a little bit of mixed emotions towards it, but I think facts are facts. And what facts has shown is look at something like Pengu, right? Pengu there's VC money behind it. But right now it's in the competition with Dog to see how much volume can be used to purchase on Kraken. And Pengu's taking a very big distance away from Dog now. It's up almost $1 million. And why is that? It's not because Pengu has more of a organic community. It's not close, in my opinion. There's a bigger community for the Dog community. But the problem is that the Dog community doesn't have these deep pockets from like, I don't know how many entities or whatever that's involved with it. And because of that, until retail comes, that's the only thing that can really make it a fair challenge. I don't know. I've been speaking a lot about it, but do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, it's definitely going to be hard until retail does come, and I guess we're kind of putting it out there that they're going to come, right? It's just a matter of time. But we need stuff like this to happen. Right, we need Bitcoin dominance to come down because retail doesn't give a shit about Bitcoin. I'm sorry to say it, right? They don't care. You tell someone about Bitcoin, they're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do mortgage my house to buy a Bitcoin, and then what?" They just don't understand the power of Bitcoin and where it's going. But we do. But they do want to make money. And how do they make money? When Bitcoin dominance drops. When Bitcoin dominance falls off a freaking cliff and gets down here to 59, 58, and then you got stuff like Magic Eden and Fluid and Sonic and all this other stuff really start running. But until we get there, we need Ethereum. And look at Ethereum right now. Ethereum is leading the freaking pack right now, almost at 33. This thing will go to 30. I told you this morning. I said 3,500 by Friday. And I truly believe that we're going to head that. We might even be there in the next few hours, the way this is moving.
Few hours? Maybe,
Yeah.
but I think
I
that would
mean,
be a little unlikely. But Friday is definitely realistic for that. I mean, it jumped
well,
up what $150 in a day.
so what happens right now, you're going to see a lot of these big hedge fund guys, right? They only got 3 more hours left to play. They're just getting back to their desk right now, and they're seeing ETH run. What are they going to do? They want to play. They want to play. I got a feeling in the next 2 hours, between 1 and 4 o'clock, we're going to see a run up by ETH to go to maybe 35, 36, 37. I mean, this thing is ready to move, but we might see a pullback when the bell closes, though, when they got to clean up their day trades and stuff like that. So really excited for ETH for the next few days for sure. But guys, that's our show. We got 309 people watching right now on X, YouTube, and Twitch, not to mention everyone on Abstract, Rumble, Kick, and Spotify later. We really, really appreciate every single one of you guys, man. Oh, I do see a couple comments. I just want to make sure that you guys know we do look at the comments. BTC says, well, I bought some. The site works. Might worth armpits. I don't know what you mean there. And then he says, I'm not sure if the messages are showing. Yes, the messages are showing, man. We see your messages. He says, Farcaster looks good too. Farcaster is an airdrop opportunity. I forgot about that one. Yeah, 100%. Giovanni says open Latin. I don't know what language this is. And then myself, you read that comment, but love the comments, guys. Keep them coming. Most comments we had in a long time. Absolutely love it. Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely, guys. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. Again, you guys are the reason we're here each and every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. And we appreciate it. And if you could check out our partners, we would greatly appreciate it as well. Sats Terminal is the DEX aggregator swap. We just talked to Cyclops and NFTsupply. Congratulations on that collaboration that they just announced there between the two entities. But if you're looking to swap for runes or altcoins, you got to do it at satsterminal.com. Why? Because you can earn Amber points, and Amber points are going to go towards a give back to early adopters from the Sats Terminal team. So you definitely want to acquire as many of those as possible, and you can do that by making transactions on the platform there. And actually, you actually earn Amber by connecting your wallet for the very first time. I believe it's still 1,000 Amber that you earn there. In the future, that's going to go away, and so make sure you're taking advantage of that. But also, again, Alkanes too, hot there. And this team, they're here to build for you guys, like the community. So don't worry if like LRC 20 becomes the dominant standard. They will add that in. I'm telling you, their CTO is crazy good. We've known him for a while there. Head over to satsterminal.com, join their community, ask any questions you have over there. And then Emblem Vault is the interoperability tooling for the Bitcoin ecosystem. Their main product that they started off with is the Emblem Vault. You're going to be able to jump your ordinals, your Taproot wizards from Bitcoin Layer 1 to Ethereum. You can actually do that right now. You can take a loan out on one of your wizards at Gandhi, which is a borrowing and lending NFT platform on Ethereum, and they are servicing the Taproot wizards right now. But also, you're going to be able to do this on other chains as well, like Abstract, Base, possibly Merlin chain, and then Solana as well. And speaking of Solana, right now you can use their AI Agent Hustle, which is an AI product. I believe it's one of the best in the industry to help you trade in the Solana jungles. What do I mean by that? You can ask Hustle, hey, give me a couple safe 5x plays on Solana with, big upside. What Hustle will do is bring back a couple options for you guys, let you guys know why he picked these two options. She doesn't matter what Agent Hustle is, but gonna pick the options for you guys. You can go through it and decide if that's something that you want to dabble with, right? And then also they're going to be adding the conditional as I think V3 is live right now, right? Yeah, I think it is. So the conditional is the one that you can kind of go away from your keyboard and trade, right?
Okay.
So yeah, it's live. So they have a new dashboard here, guys. It's really clean. They wanted to do it more like the typical AI dashboard. And so you can actually put the request in there to set up a trade for you in the future and the exit as well. That's why I love Hustle and the innovation that they have here, guys. Take advantage of it now. They are going to have a kind of gated situation with the Hustle token. And so, yeah, it's going to be awesome. Last thing here with this team is that they have a TGE rune for the brand. Their Emblem Founder Vaults. If you go to OpenSea, you can actually purchase an NFT and you will get instructions during the TGE, which should be about about September, October this year, and you'll have a Bitcoin wallet in that vault that you'll be able to open and have your runes there. So really unique way they did the TGE. Head over to emblem.vision and learn more there. And then Artura.finance is the perps and leverage DEX of the Bitcoin ecosystem. They're going to be launching any day now on Botonix Bitcoin Layer 2, the Spider chain. You can earn double points for utilizing their platform on Botonix, the points for the Botonix side and the points, the XP on the Artura side. And it's both are going to go towards a give back to early adopters as well, making sure you're taking advantage of that. The idea behind Artura is being able to trade fungible tokens, synthetic Bitcoin fungible tokens like Doggo to the Moon, Ordi, Sats, those kinds of tokens. You're going to be able to do that at Artura.finance. To start things off, you're going to be able to trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some of these popular tokens outside the ecosystem like XRP and Tau. But if you're not into trading, that's fine. We get it. You can actually add liquidity to their vaults to kind of help make the platform more formidable there. Head over to Artura.finance, enter the app, and you can learn more there, and enter their Discord as well. They have really good community there. And then Fluid Tokens is the UTXO wizard dev group of the Bitcoin ecosystem. They were the first to offer staking vaults for Bitcoin Layer 1. They had a Doggo to the Moon Season 1 and Season 2, and they are prepping for Season 3. The cool thing about Season 3 is that you can stake Alkanes to earn Dog, or you can stake Dog to earn Alkanes. So really cool. If you're a project, a Runes project or an Alkanes project, and you want to create a staking vault, head over to their Discord, ask them all the questions. They have a team there waiting for you guys. Also, they have an airdrop tab on their Bitcoin side on the homepage there. If you click airdrop, you can either airdrop runes or Alkanes to your community. There's two options. You can upload a CSV file, or you can do it manually there. Right, so it's really simple, cost-effective, and fast. Make sure that you head over to fluidtokens.com to learn more about that. And then lastly, the Cardano community, you can actually earn Babel fees if you go to their Cardano site and you add liquidity to their Aquarium platform there. So it's really cool. It's a cool way to earn Babel fees, and all you have to do is add liquidity. And of course, you know that's not like locked in forever. So really cool opportunity there. Head over to fluidtokens.com today. And then Tokyo Wallet, the multi-chain smart wallet, is built for the best UI UX for all users. If you have an Apple iPhone, head over to the Apple App Store. If you have an Android, head over to the Google Play Store. Download the app there. They're going to have support soon for SUI, but right now they support the Bitcoin and Cardano ecosystem. So you can actually swap for runes directly in their app. They partnered with Sats Terminal that we just talked about to make that possible. And they also partnered with Dex Hunter on the Cardano side to make it possible for you guys to swap for Cardano tokens as well. There's a little alpha section on their wallet that is going to show us, we're there, other YouTubers as well. So it's really cool. It truly is a one-stop shop wallet, and they're gonna have new features coming in the near future as well. And also, we're gonna do a new segment with Tokyo every, I believe, Tuesday. We will give you guys more details about that in the future.
Yeah, it's like Tuesday at 7 p.m. We're going to be doing a live stream with them and some friends as well. So it's going to be and we're going to be doing giveaways and a lot more. We're going to get out. We're going to talk about this more this week and let you guys know next week for sure.
Absolutely. It's going to be an exciting time. But head over to Tokyo.io and dive in there. And then Merlin Chain is uniting Bitcoin strength through AI. We talked about AI earlier. They have an AI product there called the Wizard. You can use it to guide you through Merlin Chain's ecosystem. Questions, you can ask questions about specific tokens. You can actually have it do DeFi actions on your behalf, like swap and stake. Right. And speaking of staking, you can help secure the chain with their proof of stake at merlinchain.io. If you go to the stake, there's three options. There's the Bitcoin staking, which not many platforms offer that. You can stake Bitcoin to earn more Bitcoin. You get a guaranteed minimum of 8%, a maximum of 21%. So it typically averages out at 16%, but that is locked in until September 30th of this year. And so just make sure that you are aware of that. And then also they have two options for the Merlin Chain token staking. There's the flexible, which is a day-to-day. It does take a 7-day cool-off processing period to withdraw that. Just know that. But you can withdraw your rewards every day there. And then they have a bonded option there that is 6 months. And you can earn 45% APR there. And again, you can claim your rewards every single day. The flexible one, you earn 15%. So that's the difference between the day-to-day to the 6-month lockup there. And then, so check them out. The team over there is awesome. We have Jeff on every Monday. Make sure you check out the Merlin Monday segment as well. You can hear directly from the founder of Merlin Chain. And then lastly is Ordinal Hive, which is an aggregator Ordinal marketplace. You're going to be able to find the cheapest Ordinals around at Ordinal Hive. They have amazing trader tools as well, like live mempool insights, and they boast the fastest trading in terms of getting your Bitcoin, right? A lot of times you got to wait 10 minutes to get Bitcoin if you sell something. Not with Ordinal Hive. It's really fast there. Check them out over at Ordinal Hive. We thank you so much for checking out our partners.
Yup. Great job, man. As always, if you guys have a few more minutes and wouldn't mind checking out OnChain Revolution.io, some of the best articles. Brand new article just dropped. How the global M2 money supply surge is fueling Bitcoin's next all-time high. So check this article out, guys. It's all about how they keep printing and Bitcoin keeps going higher. We have so many articles here. If you know someone just entering the space, please send them our website. We go all the way back to 2023. You guys can watch or look at each article and really find out what was going on that week. And you guys are completely caught up. Check out all the articles here at onchainrevolution.io. And if you guys need a VPN, highly recommend NordVPN, guys. Do not go to sites without a VPN on. If it's not Nord, get another one. There's free ones out there, but have a VPN on. Privacy is very important because if you go to these sites and your IP is hanging out, then what's going to happen is potentially someone's going to get your address, which CryptoLution messed me up, man. Shout out to my guy, CryptoLution, with a $5 super chat. Couldn't concentrate after that, man. Really appreciate you. Absolutely awesome. And by the way, if you guys haven't went over to CryptoLution's channel and checked out his new video with the amazing CEO of Kraken, guys, go check that out. That is a much anticipated video, and I love it. Congratulations to you to be able to get someone that big, man. Absolutely awesome. But back to the VPN. If you guys want a VPN, get Nord, guys. And if you guys need merch, we have some of the best merch in all crypto. Check it all out. We got shirts, hats, and so much more. Dog shirts, dog go to the moon, Billy Cat, school bags, so much more. Check out all the hoodies. Brand new dog hoodie right there. Check it all out here at onchainrevolution.io. J11 says, crypto is almost cooked. Final rug incoming. J11, thank you so much for your comment today. Really appreciate you checking us out. And all you guys, man, a lot of comments today, a lot of people, absolutely amazing. And remember, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. Until tomorrow.
Peace.
OnChain Revolution roll call. Market recap. You not bullish enough. No. You're not bullish enough. No. Look at the price go. Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed, gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. OnChain